everybody, and welcome to Season 18 of Spine Chill. I'm one of your co-hosts, John Wolf, here with my other co-host, Gary the Hot Cross.
Hello!
And our recurring guest, Doug Running Man.
Hi, everyone. Hey, John. Thanks for having me. Appreciate
Thank you so much for having a normal reaction there, Doug. I don't know what that was about.
I'm not playing his game, John. All right? He can win this one.
Juice!
He can win this one. Thank you for having me.
This is what Gary thinks winning looks like.
Yep, I feel like a winner.
High MMR podcasting happening up here. Let me tell you. It's good stuff.
With that out of the way, we're just never going to speak about that again. We have a great episode and season for all of you today. We're going to be talking about some DBD Twitter controversy. There was a lot of it this past week. Whoa,
Drama!
He did it!
But he did it without your
I know.
Prompting, Gary.
Doug just won his own game.
Yeah.
2 winners.
Now I've
Your
got
turn, John.
Now I win too. 3 winners.
I could use a little more. I want a little more spirit next time. I want to really feel it, John. You know?
I think I was the most spirited out of all 3 of us, but
I think
We
you
could
did a
talk
great
about
job,
that.
co-MVP. You did a great job.
Let us know in the comments.
Yes, who won?
let us know who won. Yeah, but we have a lot of stuff to talk about for not really a lot of stuff to talk about for DVD. Just we're gonna talk about Dead Hard. Everybody's whining about Dead Hard. We'll whine about Dead Hard too, in our own way. And then we've also got a lot of Ghostbusters news to talk about.
John's favorite game.
That's right. And some Project Playtime, because we've been saying it for like 5 seasons in a row, but we finally played some Project Playtime together. And we'll be talking about Gary and I's first impressions. Doug's played a lot of it, and he was taking us through it, showing us how to play. So,
Being an excellent teacher.
Aww.
That's right. We'll mention VHS only in passing.
Probably won't. We've got Evil Dead to talk about, though.
Evil Dead has a brand new Battle Royale mode. So even though that's not an asymmetrical game, we'll talk about that, and also their upcoming changes and additions. And I think that's about it, right? Did I miss anything?
I think that's our whole...
Sounds like the slate, yeah. I mean, you want to just cover VHS right now? We won't have anything to talk about till February 10th.
Oh, God, yeah. Let's do
All right,
VHS
the
now.
VHS segment is now over.
Don't change the background. You don't need to worry about the VHS background, okay? Like,
I was going to just have it like pop up and then go away.
You can do whatever you want. You can edit it how you want. But yeah, February 10th is when the event starts, the Valentine's event. Nothing else to talk about. So
okay.
Cool.
Well,
I'll put it in my calendar.
After that, we will have things to talk about. Hopefully.
Thanks, VHS.
It's always there for us.
Well, before we get into DVD stuff, how was y'all's week?
Not bad, to be honest. Yeah, it's been pretty good. I've been a bit ill, as you know from last season, but my cough's finally mostly cleared up. How about you guys?
Back-to-back 6 seasons for Gary.
Yeah, I know. I'm about 95% now, though, so I think I'm all right.
I forgot to say, Spine Chill, the #1 asymmetrical horror and therefore #1 DVD podcast. I forgot to introduce ourselves.
Yes.
I'm trying to get my habit of doing that now.
That's true, yeah. And #1 Ghostbusters podcast.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Whenever I'm playing a game, I'm always like, I'm a co-host, or at least I lie to them and tell them I'm a co-host on the #1 Ghostbusters podcast. If I'm playing Ghostbusters, or the #1 Evil Dead podcast. If I'm playing Evil Dead,
good,
right?
So
no, it makes
gotta
sense.
let them know.
Yeah, gotta let them know.
I had a great week. No, you're great. You keep doing what you're doing. I had a great week. I am obsessed with the new Evil Dead VR, so I've been playing like an unreasonable amount both on and off stream of that game. So that was my week mostly. I was gonna tell you guys, we could talk about DVD if you guys want to, but I haven't played DVD in like over a week now.
And how many hours do you have, Doug?
Wait. Have I never mentioned my hours? I know.
No. We actually had a question about it in the Discord server in our Q&A section, which I was thinking of bringing up because.
Oh my goodness,
it was a big mystery. I told them we didn't know how many hours you had, and that nobody did.
Yeah,
that's fair. No, that's true. Let me pull up Steam. I don't know off the top of my head. I have to look it up.
Right.
Looks like 11,894.7 hours on Dead by Daylight.
Not even 12,000? I thought it was
Not
more
yet.
for some reason.
But I would say, like, Doug, you're not playing DBD for a little while, like a week. That's quite a big deal for you.
It is.
It is.
I think it speaks a lot to the quality of the other options that are available, and also I talk about this a lot, but ever since DBD switched to this model of like the every 8 weeks they have a mid chapter and they have an update. Is it 6 or 8 weeks actually? I think it's every 6 weeks.
eight.
I think is it
8?
I think it's 8.
Isn't it usually it's 6 and then we get a PTB or something, right? Or something? Like,
Yeah, but my point, basically the point I
that.
made is once they got into this whole cycle of doing like a chapter, mid chapter, mid chapter, like the week after a mid chapter comes out is like to me the deadest content period for DBD, because like mid chapter updates don't tend to have a ton of really major game changing stuff. They don't add anything really new. It's always like reworks and balance things, and I mean obviously they added the new survivor icons
UI,
and stuff
yeah.
like the HUD stuff. It's all good stuff. I'm not complaining about it, but the point is, like, once you get through and you play against and as the knight, you play against and as the nurse, and you play some survivor and see the HUD, like, you're kind of done, right?
Yeah.
That's all I really, and then you're back to playing DBD. But really, kind of as a creator, you're kind of just now just looking at your watch, so like, when are we going to get some teasers for the next update? When are we going to get the next update? When is there going to be some
Probably in
new,
the next week
exciting
or so,
stuff?
would be my guess. But
Yeah. But so it's not anything personal. I still love DBD. It's just like right now, all I have to work on is P100.
Well, it is worth noting that the mid chapter came with a new tome and new challenges and new rift and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I understand what you mean as far as like content for the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and if you're a grinder like myself, like I got through that tome in like 2 days or a day or two. Like I just played it and got it, which is it's not behavior's fault that I have no life outside of asym games, right? Like the average player who has a 9 to 5 and a family and dreams and aspirations and goals will probably take a little longer to get through their tomes than somebody like me who just plays 12 hours a day until it's done, right? So I get that, but for me, it's just I'm in a content dead zone in DBD right now. I don't really have a lot of content to make there outside of just grinding P100. So it's not that I dislike the game. I hate the game. I just really running out of stuff to do for now.
Right.
how about you, John? How's your week been? Do you play
Yeah.
much DBD or anything else?
I actually didn't play DVD at all this week either. I played the Dead Space remake on my streams this week.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah.
I think I saw.
It is
I
good.
need to watch your YouTube. You gave it like a bit of a. I know it's a thumbs up review.
Yeah. I did a review video on YouTube, and yeah, it's good. I'd say it's better than the original.
I did the opposite. I've played Callisto Protocol. Well, I started playing it, not for very long.
Will you
Yeah.
finish it?
What, Callisto?
Yeah, will you finish it?
No, I played it for about 40 minutes. I was like, it's like bad Dead Space.
Yeah, play Dead Space remake. It'll be a much better time. That's why I'm telling everybody who is like, oh, is it at least better than Callisto or something like that? I'm like, oh yeah, it's way better.
Yeah, John, I loved your streams of Dead Space. I love the hot dog conversations. Were
Oh no.
10 out of 10. Do we want to bring that to Spine Chill or
What's this?
hot
Tell me.
dog the hot dog debacle. Somebody brought up how they were like hungry for hot dogs or something, and I was like, oh yeah, hot dogs sound nice. And then everybody just started talking about these bombastic ways that they made their hot dogs. They were just like, oh yeah, I love to stick them in the microwave, or like my microwave's not working right now, so I can't make them. And I'm like, what are you microwaving hot dogs? And then they're talking about boiling hot dogs, cooking hot dogs on the roof of their car and shit. And I was like,
That's so American.
yeah,
That's so American.
it's not that hard to just grill them. But anyway, then somebody, I think my breaking point was when somebody came in and was just like, is it weird to eat hot dogs with the skin on them? I was like, skin? What are you talking about? Skin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't skin your hot dogs, John? You don't peel them?
It's like
No,
a banana.
You don't peel your hot dog down? And then,
Yeah, like a banana. I talked with my wife about it afterwards. I was like, they said skin, Kimmy. And then she had a theory that they were talking about like bratwurst, like not like a conventional hot dog. And I was like, oh yeah. They didn't say that though.
No.
Yeah.
They didn't say that part.
yeah, you really need to be clear. When you're talking hot dogs, we need to know, is this a conventional or is this an unorthodox hot dog, right? Like,
Oh,
Right.
so weird.
People were talking about eating cold hot dogs, not even cooked. People were talking about all sorts of things. I couldn't deal with it.
I enjoyed it. It was really fun to watch and listen to, and all that with the background of a fantastic game, right? So
It was.
I can only imagine how angry you were getting, John.
Well, for someone whose food opinions are constantly dissected by chat, it was a moment of superiority for me to be like,
a moment of
you guys,
superiority.
You guys cannot say anything about my favorites anymore. You can't tell me Papa John's is ass anymore, okay? Because now I've seen the truth through this conversation.
The truth is peeling.
You're cooking your food on the roof of your cars.
Yeah. And I'm not so sure that they were even joking. That's the sad part.
I mean, it depends on if they're from the South or not. I feel like. Can't be doing that up north, that's for sure.
But yeah, Dead Space Remake was great. It was nice to have a little break from DBD. So yeah, I haven't played it this past week either, and it's been nice. I am excited to get back to it though this next week. Frankly, I think it's nice to have a break every now and then.
Yeah.
What prestige is your Yui right now, John? Have you been grinding? Yeah. Yunjin.
Oh, she's only like 25 or something like that.
So you've just been kind of slowly doing it.
Yeah. Well, I haven't just been dumping all my blood points into her. I've been spreading it out like. Usually if I'm on because I've been on a killer kick for almost all of January, so I've been using all my blood points on killer.
Makes sense.
Just because I don't want to go back and switch to the main menu and stuff. So yeah, I've been pretty slow on it. Frankly.
Yeah, I was just curious more than anything.
Yeah.
Gary, how's your prestige on Yunjin?
It's getting there. 58, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So have you been putting all of your blood points into Yunjin then?
No, I've been doing. I've been putting some into Killer because I've been playing Huntress quite a lot lately. I need to get add-ons for her, and I still play. I've used a lot of my good add-ons on Wraith and Nemesis. So if I want to play them, I have to get some new ones. I'm having to spend some blood points here and there on them, but mostly Vom Gen.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I'm at
because you're Ash, right? You're doing Ash first.
I'm doing Ash. I think my Ash is 58 as well, or 59.
Oh, nice.
And then my Bubba is like 65. So actually,
what?
I want to go. That's the thing. I could have a P100 now if I didn't spread them out. But and my Rebecca I think is like 20 now too. Like I'm doing Rebecca second on Survivor. So
nice.
Is there a P100 Rebecca yet? You might be the first.
Yeah.
If you keep going
no, there's a P100 for surely.
Is there a P100 Ash though? Because I don't know if I've seen one.
I've played against two so far.
Oh.
So I won't be. Long ago, I used to put a premium on being like the first to do stuff. Like I was the world first Prestige 3 Ghostface. If you guys didn't know.
Oh.
Confirmed by Reddit. I was the first one to get it. And Reddit doesn't lie, right? So
no.
But and then as soon as I did that though, and I'm not going to name names, but some other people jumped on board my idea, and then they just did it better. So I couldn't do it anymore.
Oh.
I couldn't be first anymore. And if you're not first, you're last. So I stopped putting a premium on trying to rush it. So
if you can't be number one, it doesn't matter who's number one.
I feel like if
that's right,
this is gonna sound a little bit. I don't know if it's gonna sound gross, but I'm gonna say it anyways. If DBD was all I had, I'd probably care more about being fast to do Prestige 100s, right? If it was the only game that I was playing, but I have other games that I'm invested in right now. So
this is like last week when you spoke about comp players and their ability to have friends to play DBD with.
I just say things, man. It's how I feel. So. All right, so my Leatherface is 65, as I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And then Survivor.
As I suspected.
My Ash is 55.
Okay.
And my Rebecca is 15. So I was
nice.
Overestimating a little bit, but not bad.
Still doing pretty well, though.
Yeah. I've
been spreading my blood points out on a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of people to 10, and then I'll stop. Or I'll get them to the point where I've got enough items on them to where I'm good for a long time if I don't spend blood points on them anymore. And then I kind of leave them. I get kind of bored sitting there just spending blood points on the same character over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I usually do it as I log in and I'm like, I've got a million blood points to just get rid of. And I just switch the volume off, put some music on or a YouTube video and just spend them before a stream.
Yeah.
Get them out of the way.
I kind of wish there was an auto spend.
Oh, me too. Charge me more just to get rid of them. I don't like spending them anymore. Just give me random stuff from it. I don't care.
I think there's a large. Oh, good.
The Blood Web gameplay has never really been a selling point for DBD. I know that it's a unique way to do your upgrades, but it's never been a big thing for the player base. I don't think anybody would miss it if it went away.
Yeah.
I think
I agree.
initially it was like something to do while you were in queue, right? But now it's become like kind of obscene, and the queues are fast enough now that like there are times when I'm playing Survivor that I literally have to like not be in queue so I can get ahead of spending my points,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
and that's kind of crazy. So I do think there's a big community push to. I mean, there's been videos that have come up on Twitter where people show how long it takes to spend 2 million blood points, like the amount of time, physical time it takes to spend the points.
I have to put aside like an hour to make sure I get through it.
Yeah, I think it was 44 minutes it took somebody to spend 2 million on a video on Twitter. So I think that the devs are aware of it, and hopefully that's something that they're looking into and taking for action, in a future patch. And if if the way the behavior's been doing things lately is any indicator, it'll just happen. They'll just be like, oh, by the way, we did this.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah, hopefully a change is happening soon. Well, cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like we all had a pretty good week then.
I played Bug Snacks.
Yeah, you did. I watched that too.
Oh,
How
that
was
game's
that?
adorable. It's real weird. It's like actually like got something. There's mysteries that I want to solve. I didn't think I'd get that invested in it.
The way your face lights up when you play Bug Snacks makes me want you to keep playing Bug Snacks bad.
I'm gonna keep playing that.
You love that game, man.
It's got vibes of Outer Wilds for me.
Mm-hmm.
I need to solve the mystery.
It's a good watch too. It wasn't boring. Like it was fun to watch.
I
enjoyed
appreciate
it.
that.
And again, I'm not a Bug Snacks fan. On its own, I'm a Gary fan. So, but for me, it wasn't. Something
I could not imagine you enjoying Bug Snacks in your free time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that.
We would ask you, is anything wrong? Are you doing okay?
Yeah.
You okay, Doug?
Yeah.
Fucking health and comfort.
Love the hat, by the way, Doug. Love the hat.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wore this
Killer
for Gary.
Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah, we've got nothing to talk about in terms of Killer Clowns, but the hat is dope.
And we can just talk about how excited.
Oh, I might get one. I want one of those hats.
You should.
Where did you get it?
I got it from Spirit Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Is that American store?
Yeah, it's a seasonal store. It opens up every fall. Like I think it usually opens up like around August, September timeframe, and then stays open through Halloween. And it's just like costumes and spooky season stuff. It's really cool. It's a really cool store.
Yeah.
Where if I can get one online? Anyway.
I'm sure you can
Gary,
find it somewhere.
We can find you a Killer Clowns hat.
Okay, cool. Because I'm very excited for Killer Clowns. I think it's the one that I'm the most excited for. I'm really looking forward to Texas Chainsaw, but Killer Clowns is going to be so good. I have a feeling.
Careful.
Down in my plums.
Don't get too excited.
Gary's going American on us. We gotta reel it back, buddy.
The higher your hopes soar, the harder they'll fall.
Oh, you sound like that. Remember when, unfortunately, VHS did kind of fall a little bit, but the DVD people that were really shitting on it before it came out.
Yeah.
They turned out to be right.
I mean, I don't think they did, but that's a discussion for another day. I think the game is. I always describe it as the best game no one's playing. It's a really good game. I think that the issues have all been on like the front end, not on the back end. Because when you actually play it, the game is amazing, but like no one's playing.
Actually, this is the perfect transition because I would describe it as the game that all the people complaining on Twitter should go give a go. Because DVD's Twitter is. It's been particularly whiny this week. I don't know if you guys have noticed.
Well, I would say this entire month so far.
But I think it's really kicked into high gear this week. Oh my god.
Well, I mean, we talked about it last week or last season, but I couldn't believe how many complaints there were about Save the Best for Last, and we talked about that already.
I know.
But
that's died down now, though.
Yeah, nobody cares, but that's old news.
Yeah.
Save the Best for Last.
I mean, Eruption's
nobody's
still
talking about that anymore.
Up there.
It's like there's a weekly complaint that gets around. Like probably by the time we post this, nobody will be talking about Dead Hard anymore.
No.
I think
this is gonna linger for a while.
I feel like Dead Hard's like a persistent. Dead Hard is the what killer would you like to see in DVD of perk conversations. Like it's never going away forever. Like people have been complaining about Dead Hard since its inception, and they will be complaining about it until it is deleted.
I'm wondering, I know that, and we'll talk about it, but I know that Otts spurred a lot of the, Otts Darva, popular DVD content creator, spurred a lot of the conversation.
What's his name? I'll give him a Google.
Spurred a lot of the conversation behind Dead Hard. But like, did find myself wondering, like, where is all this coming from? Because even before Otts brought it up, I was seeing people talk about it. Like
people have been complaining about it for a while now.
Yeah, it's like it just kind of got around somehow, and I'm not sure why. Because I mean, it's been the same since they updated it.
Well, so
back in
so if anyone doesn't know, who's listening, the video in question, Oddstava had a match where an ace player had Dead Hard, but waited 9 seconds before they used it, got under a pallet, still went down, I believe. But it was 9 seconds of patience to show how many seconds a killer can potentially waste waiting out Dead Hard. And that kind of kicked off everyone be like, this perk's ridiculous. Even though I'm a little bit confused because the perk didn't wait 9 seconds.
Yeah.
The killer did.
Yeah.
In this case, Otts waited 9 seconds. He wasted 9 of his own seconds.
Because I watched that video, and like I agree that it's frustrating from a killer perspective, but the patience that the survivor players showed to wait 9 seconds or however long before using Dead Hard, that's good play on their part to wait it out. It's the mind game. They won the mind game for that brief period of time, right? So I mean I agree it's kind of frustrating, but also like most survivors that you're going to play against are, you walk up to them, they instantly Dead Hard, and if you wait,
it's really
you
funny.
just hit them directly afterwards. So I think it's kind of a rare circumstance where the survivor is actually rewarded for their patience and their gameplay.
For skill play, right?
Right.
Yeah. Skill play. Because what happened? Crazy concept, right? Like,
it was like just baffling to me because all the comments were like, oh, so really skilled play, like really sarcastically just dogging on this person, like, oh, they pressed E, really skilled play. And I was like, but they timed it correctly. And they waited, and then they timed it correctly. That's even harder. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Not all Dead Hards are created equal, but this one was good, I thought.
Well, this is the thing that just like bothers me, because when they nerfed Dead Hard, which was a good thing, the nerf to Dead Hard was well deserved.
Yeah.
And everyone rejoiced, and a lot of people were like, oh, it's a dead perk now. And I remember sitting there thinking, this perk isn't dead, it's just going to take a while. And it's taken a while, and people have gotten better. Survivors have adapted.
Right.
And now some of them are really skilled with it. And that's what you want, isn't it? Like,
that's what they say they want.
Yeah,
that's what people say they want.
What they actually want is they want to just win. They don't really care. They just don't want.
They don't want. They want it to be dog shit. Okay, so Dead Hard, the original complaint, which I agree with about Dead Hard, the original version of Dead Hard was, Dead Hard is supposed to save you from taking a health state. You're not supposed to go down. It's not supposed to give you distance. So what did they do? They took out the ability to use Dead Hard for distance. Now it literally just protects you from a health state. And now they're like, no, not like that. No, wait, no. Yeah. I don't like that now. Like, the complaint that the average player had with Dead Hard was corrected by behavior. They gave you exactly what you asked for. You said, I don't like the unskilled play of Dead Harding for distance. They should have to time it for the health state.
Right.
Then they released the rework, and you had a full second of endurance, right?
Yeah.
And they cut that in half. They took half of that away, and they said,
Which
okay.
was a good change.
Yeah.
I agree, too. They said, yeah, a second is way too long. We'll give them half a second. I don't know. You guys are Survivor mains, and I play a lot of Survivor. I've ran Dead Hard, the new Dead Hard. It's fucking hard to get it to work right. It's hard to use it. It's hard.
I don't run it. I'm stuck with it.
It is not a brain dead perk anymore. You have to use it intelligently and effectively. You have to plan for it. You have to adjust for it. You sometimes have to mind game for it. All these are things that if you took the words Dead Hard out of the conversation and just talked about a mystery mechanic, it's like, oh, would you like a mystery mechanic in the game where you were able to, as a survivor, mind game the killer, and you have to have patience, you have to have skill. It's a skill capped perk. It's not going to just be a free thing like Sprintburst where you just hold W and press forward and you're out. You have to actually like think it through. They would say yes, but then now that Dead Hard is in the game and they're dealing with people getting good with it, they're like, well, I don't like it anymore.
Yeah. Because I will admit, like, it is annoying when you're playing as killer, and like every survivor, like a lot of survivors at like fairly decent MMR have gotten obnoxiously good with it. So when I'm playing Nemesis or Huntress, they're like, they're taking the hatchets like champs. They get the speed and they go. But it's like, it's just tough. I just throw another hatchet and get them down. Like, they only use it once during a chase. Like,
getting outplayed is frustrating, right? It's frustrating for me too. I feel the same way. And I'll in the moment emotionally be like, fucking Dead Hard. Like, when I'm facing, because it's frustrating to get outplayed. But like, I think that the problem is that the average player that's complaining about Dead Hard doesn't feel like they're getting outplayed. They feel like they're getting cheated.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hmm.
I don't know. I
'Cause,
think
like-
there's a lot of things to be said in defense of Dead Hard. Yeah, I understand.
I
Like,
love
because
Dead
I
Hard.
have been. I mean, you know, I do play a lot of Survivor, but lately I've played more Killer, and there are certain killers where it's particularly frustrating. Like Gary mentioned, Nemesis, Huntress, you know, Pyramid Head. These killers where you can see the attack coming from a little bit further away, and you can time it a little easier. That can be difficult sometimes. Especially if like they disappear around a corner right after they get hit. You're just like, oh, damn it, or like they throw a pallet at the same time. That is one situation where I get frustrated with Dead Hard from a killer side, is at pallets. And so I think it is worth discussing that aspect of it, because that's the one scenario of like, I gotta swing, I can't weigh it out, because if I don't, you're gonna, it's either get pallet stunned or you hit the Dead Hard. I can see that being a little bit of an issue, but at the same time, I have no idea how you correct it without completely changing the perk and nerfing
I also
it.
wouldn't want to. I don't mind there being situations where you weren't gonna get the hit. Like, balanced landing in certain situations will give you a crazy amount of distance. Bubba at camping a hook, there's no real counter to it. Trickster, like there's situations where you aren't able to just instantly counter it, and that's the Survivor one is Dead Hard under a pallet.
Yeah,
That's the Bubba under a camped hook. Like,
I mean, isn't it still kind of a mind game though? Because like, I mean, I've seen Survivors when I've played Killer. Like you assume they have Dead Hard under the pallet, and they don't drop the pallet, and they don't use Dead Hard. They just they keep going, and I'm like, that's a good Survivor. You hold W through it, or you take the swing. It's a 50-50, but how many 50-50s do killers get when you're looping an LT wall and you're like, which way do I want to go? Or you know what I mean? Like, that's part of the game. It's a base mechanic in the RNG based party game that we play Dead by Daylight. Like, coin flips, 50-50s,
Yeah.
50-50s are everywhere, Killer and Survivor side. So
and I'd also add, like, although Nemesis and Huntress and Pyramid Head probably less of a good example of this, but they do struggle more against perks like Dead Hard because they get more of an insight to when you're about to attack. But there is such a strength to Nemesis and Huntress with their range ability around most loops that it's like, it balances out. It feels fair still. I don't know.
Not to mention, there are killers like Slinger and Legion who can render Dead Hard very ineffective, right?
Yes, true.
You don't get to use it for distance anymore, and you don't get that endurance state if you're already mending. So if you're already in.
Yeah, Death Slinger basically never has to worry about Dead Hard ever. I will say too, like on the note of like just Huntress, for example, like Huntress is kind of cucked by Dead Hard, right? But the number of times as Huntress where I've hit someone in the middle of their live speed boost or in the middle of their balanced landing speed boost, it does make up for it, I think. And other, because like a lot of these other exhaustion perks that people run are in the middle of their sprint burst, right? If you time your hatchet correctly, you can still get them. I can take the Dead Hard, frustration.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's never gonna go away. Same thing was with the same thing as Decisive Strike. I mean, you guys, I don't know if you guys played during the original days of DS, like the 2017 version. Or
that's when you got like lots of use of it, didn't you? It wasn't just limited to one.
You got it automatically. It's been through so many changes. I can't even remember all of them. But my point is that Decisive Strike has been changed like 6 times. And you know why they're not talking about it anymore? Because they finally fucking killed it. It's just useless now.
It sucks.
So no one's gonna complain about it. That's the same thing with Dead Hard. Dead Hard is not gonna stop being a problem until they just ruin it. Iron Will, similarly, right? People complain about Iron Will. Now Iron Will is dog shit. So no one's gonna ever run it. So no one's gonna complain about it. Otherwise,
although I saw one the other day, I was blown away. I saw Iron Will in a match.
Oh, I thought you saw someone complain about it.
No. I just saw Iron Will. I was like, whoa.
That would be
true. Where was this? Reddit? Come on.
Yeah. We don't go to Reddit. Gross. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's on both sides, too. Like, people are just going to complain. If a perk is good, it's going to get complained about. And we saw it with Save the Best for Last week. And we'll say it with whatever the fuck they complain about next week. Like, the problem is that everybody's so complainy and so upsetty about every little thing that it's like the actual problematic shit doesn't get addressed, or like eruption is a problem. Everybody, I think unanimously people that are like logical thinkers are like, yeah, this perk's it's not okay.
Yeah.
It needs to be changed.
But this is part of like the illogical argument that happened because like people were comparing Dead Hard to Eruption.
Yeah.
And I was like,
what about DBD perks editions? Like, what about Dead Hard? What about Eruption? Like, what about shut the fuck up, dude?
Yeah.
Like, the perk is... the perk is strong and you lose to it because you're bad. Sorry, that sucks. And then sometimes, I lose to it because all 4 players are really good and they run it. Okay, cool. That sucks too. Bummer. I guess you better run 4 slowdowns.
I will say, yes, because there was a lot of bringing up of Eruption versus Dead Hard this week. I don't really run Dead Hard often as Survivor, so from my point of view, if they want to nerf both of them, I'm down for it. If that's what it takes to get one less complaint on the board, fine.
It would duplicate it.
Duplicate it how?
If you nerf Dead Hard again, people will start complaining about Lithe and Sprint Burst.
Oh, that's fine.
Do you remember when they first nerfed Dead Hard, when they first changed it? When they got rid of the distance?
Yeah, Sprint Burst was everyone's least favorite
for like a month or two, it was always like, these guys, these whole W Andes, they just hold their Sprint Burst. Like, they immediately just like turned on Sprint Burst because it was the next best exhaustion perk.
Yeah.
I think they should buff Dead Hard. Buff Dead Hard. Give us the distance back.
That's what I was saying on stream. Buff Dead Hard back to how it used to be, and buff Eruption. Fuck it. Just buff them both.
Let behavior sort it out, dude. You guys really want, this is what you want? Let's fucking have. I think they should buff perks and stop nerfing perks. That's what I think.
I do think
DBD
that
be more fun.
I think right now though, right now there's not that much on the Survivor side that's strong perk wise. Like everyone brings off the record, but other than that, what is like a meta Survivor perk that people are running? Like Off the Record and Dead Hard are pretty much the only ones I can think of. So if we nerf Dead Hard, like I think survivors need some kind of meta perk loadout that they can run when they're feeling like they...
Yeah, if it's not those two, people tend to just take gen stuff, which no one wants to take anyway. Like
it's boring.
Prove thyself and resilience.
Yeah,
and
true.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, prove thyself.
No one wants to bring that stuff.
I mean,
no one wants to play against that stuff. It's boring.
I like hyper-focused stakeout.
That is satisfying. That is
pretty fun to
satisfying.
delete a gen in like 50 seconds on your own. You're like,
gen. I guess I was thinking more about if there were any like meta chase perks that people would bring, but I guess that's it's just gen stuff, and then
outside of those two, I think you're right. Yeah,
I think it's one of those things too. It's like we were talking last week in defense of Save the Best for Last. Save the Best for Last is primarily a chase perk. Like if we remove Dead Hard, then we're removing another chase perk. Or like nerf it into the ground to where it's basically...
Yeah, like if they took out Save Death for Last, what would I take with Nemesis instead? Probably a slowdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, what do you even do if they nerf Dead Hard immediate Survivor? You just take Sprint Burst and then just Sprint Burst away from the gen? Like, I don't know. Like, it's a fun perk. It's an interactive perk. Like, do people not realize that people that are playing DBD want things that they can interact with? Like, it feels great to hit a good Dead Hard.
It does,
I think what upsets me about the Dead Hard hate is I feel like it comes from the same place as people who really hate Head On. Like, because it's a split moment. It's not. I don't think Dead Hard's like, because you have to be in an active chase and in a bad situation to really get any value out of it. Whereas sometimes a Sprint Burst, you can just avoid all danger. It's really annoying. I would much rather all of my opponents bring Dead Hard than Sprint Burst. But with Head On and Dead Hard, they're both so special. They have these little moments, and then you get your little... It's a skill thing. You land it at the right moment, and you move on. But people don't like it when they get outplayed, and Head On feels a little bit like you've been outplayed. And I think Dead Hard's the same thing. And there's a weird ego thing where it's like, do killer players feel disrespected by these perks? Why do they feel so passionately about them?
Because they feel powerless. They're like, nothing I could have done there, you know? And it's like, well, you could, though, because you could win the 50-50. You could win the mind game.
Yeah.
Most of the time. I mean, I guess there's probably scenarios where there's nothing you can do to avoid it, but you could also not get put in. I mean, I heard killers be like, well, if you don't want to DS to suck, then maybe go down near a pallet instead of going down in the dead zone. And it's just like, you want people to like, it's like the same concept, right? So you're like, okay, so then maybe don't play yourself into a situation where they can make the window or the pallet with Dead Hard. Right? If you have that big of a problem with it.
Well, again, to go back to that 9-second Ots clip, he gave the ace enough time to get to a pallet. He got the down still, but like in that 9 seconds, Ace went to a pallet.
Yeah. I think maybe that clip wasn't the best illustration.
I love
why
playing
Dead
Survivor
Hard
at the
needs to
moment
be
because I never take Dead Hard. I don't enjoy it. But it's so funny to me that every killer walks behind me and I can tell they're like waiting out Dead Hard. I just stare at them pretending I've got it.
Yeah.
I run Dead Hard every single game. And I can, again, I say this on stream. I'm like, anybody who says that Survivor is easy, anybody who says Dead Hard is a free hell state doesn't play Survivor. They just don't. They don't play Survivor against decent killers because it's hard to use effectively.
Right.
It's not easy to use Dead Hard effectively. It's not. Sorry.
When I do bring Dead Hard, it is kind of a 50-50, like, last gasp desperation perk because, you know, sometimes if I'm like, oh shit, I messed up, you know, and I press E or whatever, I get the Dead Hard because the killer swings immediately. But if they just wait a second, then I use it and then I go down immediately afterwards. So it's like like both of those things happen with the same amount of frequency. Now I'm not like a crack survivor or anything, admittedly, but you know, I am experienced with the game. And for me, it works out about half the time. There are times when you can mess it up. It's not just like a freebie. It's not just like, oh, I press E for invincibility and I extend the chase for another 30 seconds and another 3 gens pop in the background, you know?
And that's what it used to be, right? That's what Dead Hard used to feel like. You got the distance and you got invulnerability. You could always make the PAL. You could always make the window. You could give yourself, you know, distance to get around a corner. Like, it was so easy and so strong. And then people complained that it was too easy and too strong and too free. We don't want that. We want it to be, it's supposed to be a health state. So give them a health state. So then they gave us the health state and now people are upset. They're still upset.
Would you like to see a perk introduced that is like old Dead Hard without the invincibility? So you get the little dash, the little distance.
I do miss the little dash. It was funny.
Because like, without the invincibility, is that like...
I hear the copium shit I hear where people are like, it's worse than it ever was before. Then bring back the old one.
Yeah, bring back old
Give us back the old one then. They're Trophy Hunter 97 on Twitch.
Yeah,
like, okay, whatever you say. The old one was better. Okay, then let's see what it looks like. Give us a weekend of the old Dead Hard.
Yeah.
I do miss old Dead Hard. It's really funny.
Because survivors are better today than they were then.
It was really funny with the old Dead Hard when they missed because they just looked so ridiculous. Leaning with their elbow right in front of you and then going down immediately afterwards.
I loved that. When they would Dead Hard back into you and you don't swing was my favorite. Yeah. What? David, we good?
Yeah. You all right? You feeling okay? So yeah, Dead Hard.
The fact that Dead Hard was like trending on Twitter, like
there was ludicrous.
So much discourse. I was like, I took a great week off of DVD.
It was like embarrassing. Like I just felt nothing but disappointment in like basically the entire community. I just thought everyone looked silly. I
think my stance on it is that I don't really care, but I do think it is ridiculous. But like if they nerf Dead Hard, I'll be like, okay. If they nerf Eruption, I'll be like, okay. If they nerf both of them, fine. You know?
Yeah.
But if they buff really them, we cheer.
I honestly,
funny.
This isn't even me. Like, this isn't even me shit posting on the podcast. Like, I genuinely feel like DBD would be a better game if instead of nerfing stuff, they started buffing stuff.
No, yeah.
I would be pro that because I'd like to speed the game back up. I am a bit tired of getting 20-minute games.
Yeah, just start buffing stuff. Stop worrying about nerfs. And it's like, okay, so. I mean, I don't know. Just buff some of the underused stuff. Just make some stuff crazy. Like, who cares? Fuck
what
it.
If? Can I put forward kind of like a nutso idea?
Yes, of course.
And I haven't thought through it all. I haven't thought through it at all.
We'll do that right now, John. We'll do it together.
My favorite kind of ideas are ones you don't think through. Go.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna blurt it out, and it's gonna be deconstructed in 5 seconds, and then I can't believe you had such a bad idea.
Someone in the comments will.
What if they added an extra generator? Okay, but wait. So you had 6 that you had to do on Survivor, and you had 8 total. But then they spread them out a little more, so it'd be harder to 3-gen. And then they nerfed a lot of the 3-gen perks, like not just Eruption, but also Call of Brine Overcharge.
Remove them. Remove slowdown. Remove slowdown.
Remove slowdown, yeah.
Or maybe like leave slowdown only chase slowdown, like Jolt and stuff, right? Like remove any like progressive reduction in regression. Right?
Alternatively, what if they got rid of all gen regression and gen progression perks? Like Prove Thyself, Resilience, gone. Hyperfocus, gone. But then also, Scourge Hook, Gift of Pain, even, gone.
I think I love the idea of the 6th gen situation. My only concern is it would just create 4 gens without some heavy duty map reworks, because some of the maps are quite small anyway. And like, I mean, I don't know if you've noticed RPD at the moment,
right?
Where 2 gens are like next to each other.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
There's a lot of maps that have that kind of feature at the moment. I don't know what's going on. And I think if you just added another gen in there, I think you'd just see 4 gens appear. But at the same time, if you reduce the gen slowdown or remove it, it's quite an exciting idea. I like the idea.
What if instead of adding a gen, we did the same idea where we got rid of gen regression and progression?
Okay.
Right? So you can still dry kick gens, but there would be no like Call of Brian overcharge and that stuff. Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about stuff like Jolt, because that's like rewarding chase, but you remove all the slowdown.
You can reduce how much it damages the
gen progression. And then you could test that out, but you could even like maybe drop down on a little bit more pallet density, like maybe make the chase a little harder.
That's another thing I was thinking about.
Turn some windows into doors.
Yeah.
And make chases a little easier, but the gens are going to go a little faster.
That's another thing I was thinking about this past week too. What was I doing? I did play a little bit of DBD this past week, because I remember thinking this. I was watching a VOD of me playing, and I was for a highlight.
I do that a lot. I watch a lot of John Wolf VODs to just enjoy.
And I was thinking, like, what if they reduced the palette density just like map wide, game wide, but then it was paired with, like you said, like gen regression going down. So like you swap killers regressing gens for survivors that are less safe in chase.
Yeah, and so chases will go faster, and then when you do that, God, we're making great ideas here, boys. Because when you do that, you can start harshly punishing camping. Because like if chases are going to end quicker, you don't want camping to be so free and easy, or tunneling. So add in baseline kindred, baseline reassurance, baseline DS, like add all the stuff in that, like the anti-camp, anti-tunnel. So you need to force killers to continue to chase, because they're just going to go do gens. There's no regression, there's no slowdown, there's no deadlock blocking gens anymore.
Right, yeah.
There's no way to effectively camp and tunnel someone out early. Man, that could be really good.
There's another idea for this, just you said about like changing vaults into doors. I think you could leave the vaults there, but I still think they should add more breakable doors into some of the other maps. They could interact that into it so that killers can shut down loops a bit more effectively. So you could have the loops stay pretty much the way they are, but there could be breakable elements, which could help pace the game. So I'm worrying that the pace is maybe speeding up a little bit too much for these chases, but I think it's a really interesting idea. I do like it. The kindred thing worries me, just because I don't like there being too much information, but
it's too late.
You're all right. We live in a different world
on the HUD now. It's a different game now.
I do like this direction that we're going with way more than my original idea of adding another generator, because now that I think about it, we want there to be less focus on the generators and more on chases. And if there's no generator added, that's a horrible idea, actually. And we also, behavior wants less time for the survivors to be pressing M1 on the generators anyway. They've said that many times, like they don't want to have, but which is funny because now in the current meta, I feel like survivors are having to press M1 more than they ever have before.
Right. I feel like okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be bold here, but like I feel like behavior is they're afraid, and I don't know why they're so scared, because they don't have any real competition. Like I play all the games, they don't have any actual competition, right? And if people are fucking playing through these metas we've been playing through, they're gonna play through anything. So just be bold and make a change like this. Like go out there and before they worry about pallet density, go out there and just remove the regression perks and remove the gen progression perks. Just say like, we're gonna just get rid of this function and just test it.
No,
and see what happens.
Do it in a PTB. Like we have these boring, no offense, we have these boring ass mid-chapter PTBs. Why not do something crazy for a PTB for a mid-chapter?
Why do they need to do it in PTB? Why don't they just test it live?
Well, but then they have their data that they can look at and be like, oh, this is how it would
affect the PTB data is going to be limited to PC players, so we don't get the console data. PTB data is going to be limited to people that are willing to play for free, which is not a lot of people, not me. I'll play for a day because I stream it. If I wasn't a streamer, I would never play a PTB, ever. I would go to your stream, John, and your stream, Gary, and I'd watch you play the new killer and the new survivor, and then I would never touch it.
You do that half the time anyway.
I do anyways. I know. I've grown up. I've gotten. I told my chat that. I told my chat that the other day. I was like, I stopped caring about you guys a long time ago, bro. Like, I'm good. I can do whatever I want now. Like, I don't want to play that shit. I don't want to play for free.
They could maybe add another game mode where it is the beta like testing thing, where it's 0 blood points. They can test this stuff out and see how popular it is. But I do have a potential problem with this. So all of these perks that we're wiping out, people have paid money for DLC, for perks. What do you do with these perks that are now husks? Like Eruption, what happens to Eruption? Does it become a new perk, which is more chase?
The exact same thing you did. Same thing you did with the Nerfs add-ons. You just change them.
So they would become new. Okay,
they
I like that.
Wouldn't be removed or
Sorry,
anything
that's
because
yeah.
Nemesis comes with only 2 perks now. No, we would want to redesign.
This is where you could add in like the old Dead Hard scoot forwards instead of Prove Thyself. It's like you could.
Yeah, it could still be called Prove Thyself, and it could have Dwight doing the little animation.
Yeah.
Dwight's proving himself.
Yeah, like that could be fun. No, I like that. And if there was a lot more chase perks, which were a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sold on this. The only other thing you have to do is like gut nurse. I'm happy. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So I want to.
Because then the chases will be fantastic.
I want to stay on this topic though, because like I would love to hear what you guys think. Why do you guys think they're so scared to do big changes on the main servers? Like they made us test the Unbreakable base kit, and they made us test all that stuff, the Finale Mori, like on a PTB, and then we never heard about it again, and they haven't done it. Like, why would they not just shove that to the servers and try it? Like, are they afraid are they afraid they're going to kill their game because like the shit that's been happening isn't killing their game? Like, why won't they just do it? Be bold.
That's a good question.
Test it.
Because it doesn't make sense that they'd be afraid, because I mean, we remember from the developer Q&A last year, they're very confident in how they viewed the game and the changes that they are coming up with and pushing out to the public. They're very confident in them. So yeah, it doesn't make sense that they would be afraid. So yeah, I'm not really sure why.
I have a completely pulled out of my arse theory. I've always kind of felt like behavior has like conflicting sides sometimes. Maybe teams that aren't necessarily communicating enough. That's why there's like 2 different types of colliders in the game, which is why Blight's so weird sometimes. Like certain shacks he bounces off, certain ones he slides around. There's a lack of communication between 2 teams, at least in that regard. And I wonder if there's like some design disagreements as well, because like sometimes I feel like they make a choice and like, oh, this is a really fun idea. The events a lot of the time are really exciting and fun, and encourage the chaos, like snowmen and stuff. And then there's other decisions they make, like they add MMR in, and it starts to feel like they're focusing more on a competitive direction. I just wonder if some of these design decisions that they want to try out get held up in this bureaucratic element between teams that don't, maybe people who don't agree with the direction of DBD. I don't know. It just feels like, because it does feel strange that these things don't just get pushed out, because I agree it makes sense to try it out.
Well, it's interesting because they did actually, with the new wiggle skill checks, that was something that they pushed to the live game and didn't just have in a PTB, and it was like a toggle that you could do in your options. So they have done. I wonder if they're going to be doing that more in the future then, if that was like them testing the waters of like, what if we just push this to live and you could opt in?
Yeah. I don't know. I just wish that they would make more dramatic moves and just do it. Like, just do it. Like, they tested no bloodlust for a weekend, like last year, the year before, I feel like. They just they tested it for a weekend. They took bloodlust out of the game just to see what would happen.
Which, if you could take bloodlust out with these changes you guys we've been discussing, because
right. If you reduce the pallet density and reduce the gen regression, that would
just and like every single broken like loop, we're like, oh, it's a bit strong. Just take a door there. Done.
Just don't let Prop Night be braver than you, man. Prop Night goes out and does crazy stuff. Like, whoa, check this out. And it works. It's awesome. So
it does feel like a lot of the other ASIMs are doing the bold, brave choices at the moment and innovating.
True. We'll talk about that more later, right? Yeah. Like, it's like behavior, man. I love you guys and I love your game. And you guys you're the king of horror ASIM, right? Right. But like, you're getting dunked on right now within the innovation department, and Texas Chainsaw is like right around the corner. And those guys. You saw that Eula
we should talk about
with Wes Kellner. Wes Kellner's out here like trying to like innovate, not only trying to innovate in the game, trying to innovate in the market, the industry, right? And behavior, you don't want to be the albatross that is just hanging out doing the status quo constantly. Like, you guys need to start innovating or you're going to lose your spot.
Yeah.
Which maybe that's why they've started to make, like, do you think maybe the competitive direction they've taken the game in has been an innovation they've tried to... Because that has been a bold decision. Like, they have changed the nature of the game quite a lot in the last... Basically since 5.7.0. Like, the nature of the game's changed quite a lot. The game's much more slower paced. Like, matches take, like, about twice as long as they used to. MMR's a thing.
I would say MMR.
They've got a new business model with the way battle passes are.
The initial MMR idea was pretty innovative, I think. Was an innovation. Yeah. Well, it was an innovation. Mm-hmm. Something we hadn't seen in an asym before.
Yeah, so they are making innovations. They're just
moving too slow.
Maybe not the ones we want.
They need to start shooting fucking bullets, man. They need to just start firing things out. They need to start... Because if we're sitting here waiting for this meta to shift and they come back with Eruption, like, well, Eruption's only 15 seconds of incapacitated now. Like, it's going to be a problem.
Oh my God.
Is DBD, like the DBD community being the ones to be receptive to changes? Like, every single change that happens to DBD, all they do is piss and moan.
That's all they're going to do no matter what.
Yeah, I know. It's just like...
Just all I'm saying, behavior, if you're listening to the podcast, just mute notifications on Twitter.
Actually, I agree.
Release the patch.
I will agree. I completely agree. Behavior. Stop listening to people. You are game designers. People who play games don't know shit about design. They don't know shit. Stop listening to them.
Yeah, don't
have your vision.
Don't listen to anyone except us, of course.
Yeah, listen to us.
Except for the Spine Show podcast. And while you're here,
well,
if you can,
I have made a game. Listen to me.
Rate 5 stars on Spotify. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
That is true.
Yeah. Just be bold.
Ignore all those other fuckos, but listen to us.
Make big changes.
Yeah. We're smart.
Is there anything else we want to talk about with DBD?
Just because we forgot to mention it last week, the Birkin skin's awesome for Blight. We completely forgot to mention it.
Yeah, he has his own voice lines. Yeah, William Birkin, character from Resident Evil 2.
Good.
Surprisingly in the game. You know what? It wasn't leaked, so nobody saw it coming. It was a big surprise to everyone. Wasn't that nice?
It makes it so much more fun, really doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. It looks amazing. It sounds amazing. It's quite loud. It's a little bit too loud, maybe. He shouts a lot.
Not too loud. Never too loud. Yeah. Never too loud. But Obnoxious is so good.
I think, and the Ada skins look really nice.
Yeah.
Dress. Was there another one?
Jill had a
Jill.
Resident...
I got excited with Jill's. I was like, oh, it's Resident Evil 5. Then I looked at it closer. I was like, no, it's not. I haven't played this Resident Evil. I don't care.
Okay.
It's like Revelations or something.
Some other people cared. Yeah, it's Resident Evil Revelations. It's a spin-off game. It's very good, actually. No, it's not. Revelations 2 is good. Revelations 1 is kind of... I'm very surprised that they made that skin the game, frankly. It's kind of a deeper cut. Because I was expecting the Resident Evil 5 Jill outfit as well, if I was going to predict another Jill outfit. Yeah, not Revelations, though. But it's cool. I'm glad to see another one. The fact that they have Revelations Jill in the game now, it tells me that things are going great between Capcom and Behavior. Things are going awesome. The fact that we're getting another set of skins for Resident Evil characters, I hope that there's... I mean, it just screams that there's going to be another Resident Evil DLC.
I was about to ask, do you think there'll be a third Resident Evil killer? Do you think Dead by Daylight is going to become the Resident Evil game?
I think if we don't get Jason Voorhees for this anniversary, we'll get another Resident Evil.
You think we'll get a third Resident Evil anniversary? That would be amazing.
That would be
anniversary. Resident Evil chapters are going to be like tier lists at every 5 seasons.
And you know who's
going to be a thing they're going to do from now on.
You know, it'd be the best one to go with. It'd be Lady D.
Lady Dimitrescu.
Of course. She has to be it. Right?
She would print money for them, and I'm sure that is not lost on them at all. I'm sure they're trying to.
And then you give the daughters survivor skins.
Yeah. So boom. Fang, she gets one, and then I don't know, Meg or.
You can give it to all of them. You can because it's all just like.
It's frankly.
Let me wear it as Jake. Why not?
I mean, the thing is about the Resident Evil content, they just don't miss. It's just all really good stuff, you know? Yeah. And like, it's like even if you wanted to be negative about it, what could you say? It's just high quality, good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like, this is a good mashup.
You know, it'd be interesting for Lady D is if, you know how there's different heights for killers, you know, like short, medium, tall. What if she was very tall and they added like doorways that she had to duck under or something like that to tie
If
us?
she had to duck under doors, that would be crazy cool.
That would be
You'd have to give her
really cool.
you'd have to give her a speed boost.
Oh yeah, she would have ways to make up for it, but that would be pretty sick.
Oh, you give her haste after she goes through a door.
Whoa!
Yeah,
what
she
if
gets
that's her?
haste after
Yeah.
she goes through.
What if that was
Yeah.
her? What if that was her core design? Right, to be able to like kind of move slower through doors and windows, but then like she'd get a boost after.
Yeah, she gets like a really big lunge or something like
Maybe
that.
maybe that's what you do. So when she goes through a door, she looks down. So that's like when you get her to go through a door, that's your moment to try and hide or like change direction or something as a survivor.
Yeah.
Mind
And then
game,
she gets
yeah.
and then she gets the haste or a dash. She gets that boost thing. So it's like
Yeah. She would have to completely block the doorway when she's going through it, so nobody does the door cheese that would inevitably happen.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Or she could swipe when she comes out or something. So if you're standing in like that doorway.
Yeah, maybe if you make contact with her when she's in the middle of the animation, she auto grabs or something.
She auto-mories you. Perfect.
Auto moris, okay.
That's what those dirty survivors deserve, Gary.
No, I love that idea. Oh, yeah, the idea of getting a third Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I feel like I'd be more surprised if it didn't happen now than if it did happen, right? Like
it makes me think because I think we're getting a second Silent Hill one at some point. Surely.
I mean, well,
Probably,
Silent Hill
yeah.
2 remake coming out this year, so I wouldn't be surprised. And we just got a new Cheryl skin not too long ago, so the relationship with Konami seems to be doing okay too.
Yeah, their licensing department's working overtime.
Well, they're making a game together now, aren't they?
Oh,
Silent
they
Hill
are,
and- yeah.
right. Well, we're not really sure what that thing even is, but yeah, they're making something.
Yeah, but I suspect there'll be a DBD crossover.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. You know, it is interesting how well Behavior's relationship goes with video game licenses compared to movie licenses or TV show licenses.
Do you
Interesting.
think it's because there's a disconnect from the companies that don't really understand how the video game side works?
I think so. Yeah. I think they just have a more natural relationship with other video game companies. It makes me hope that they do more video game licenses in the future, besides Resident Evil and Silent Hill, which are great.
God, wouldn't Dead Space be a great
Dead Space would be
IP to
sick.
get into right now with that game coming out and the remake having such big hype? And
They could give us that terrifying necromorph, the one that doesn't die.
Oh yeah, the hunter.
Can you guys imagine? Can you guys imagine a Last of Us chapter with how popular the show is right now?
I think they'd probably go with cosmetics for Last of Us. They'd do an Attack on Titan.
Think so?
I think so because I don't know what killer I'd want. Or maybe they could just do survivors. They could do survivors.
You could literally just do a clicker and it'd be great.
Yeah, I was thinking a clicker would be good.
I think I'd rather I suppose you could give me I'd think no, it's a video game. There's no way there'd be a crossover because like imagine if Nemesis' zombies became clickers and Nemesis was like one of the bigger ones.
That would be cool. You know what? What I'm surprised they haven't done yet is like a skin for Nemesis that changes the zombies.
I know, but I think they come under the same category as Victor, where they seem to be. It's not designed for them to be able to adjust the cosmetic of Victor or something.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Linksy about it. Like, there's some weird thing about it, but I honestly can't think of why you wouldn't be able to change it.
If you're a regular listener of Spine Chill, Victor is the power of the killer of the twins. So the twins have this power where they remove Victor from the body and use it. I'm just explaining because nobody's ever seen or heard of the twins, most likely.
No, it was a good shout, Doug.
Yeah, I don't want you to just talk about Victor and have people be confused.
Okay,
Victor.
It's
Victor?
It's a killer in Dead by Daylight, one of the twins. Yeah.
I was playing a game of DBD the other week against the artist as Survivor, and somebody in chat was just like, "Is this a new killer?" It cracked me up. I was like,
"That is really funny."
Oh god, it's been up for like a year and a half now. But
she is rare. She is weirdly rare.
Yeah.
Even though she's a very strong killer, I think it's because she's not fun to play.
Ots needs to do a video about how strong she is, and then everybody will start playing her. So.
Yeah,
she is strong. Yeah,
she is super strong. People don't realize it. I don't think.
She's horrible. I hate her.
So where are we now in the discussion? We went down a trail.
We always end up going down the DBD rabbit hole every time.
We spine chilled this one, guys.
This is like the third season in a row where we've just started talking about DVD and just gone off the rails with it. I like it though.
We always act so smug in the beginning, like we don't have that much to talk about with DP this week. And then we just talk about it for a whole hour.
Hour later, we're like, can we talk about a different game now?
It.
Yeah, I know. John and I didn't play it for like a week, and we're still just like can't stop talking about it.
Yeah,
it's a great game, and we are passionate about it. So
yeah,
almost as passionate as we are about Foon.
Foon. We do love Foon.
Foon havers. We take Foon seriously here.
Well, if we want to move away from Dead by Daylight, there is another game which had quite an exciting update recently called Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed.
I think my food's here, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, you
guys have fun.
Take five, Mr. Wolf. We'll handle this.
So if anyone is unaware, it just had a recent update where there's a new map, the facility, there is a new ghost, the Muncher, I believe it's called, and a bunch of other little changes. There's some new equipment. We went over it last season. There's new equipment for the Ghostbusters. Yeah, and me and Doug have got had the privilege of playing it because it's been out since like last week.
Yeah, I think I'm back.
Okay. You're fine.
Okay,
You're
back. Yeah.
I have been playing a ridiculous amount of Ghostbusters, actually. We announced on the podcast last season that they were going to be doing a drops event.
Mm-hmm.
And that drops event went live, and I streamed a lot of the drops. I streamed like 13 and a half hours on drops day of just Ghostbusters. So I got a chance to play the patch like a ton. And then I did 13 and a half hours on stream. The next day, I didn't stream Ghostbusters because there was an Evil Dead patch. But then I took Friday off from streaming because I did a ton of hours Wednesday, Thursday. And I probably played another 4 or 5 hours of Ghostbusters off stream. I was having that much fun with the patch. The patch is fantastic. The new map feels pretty ghost-sided so far, in my experience. It's a good ghost map. There's a lot of multi-level juking you can do. There's like a lot of small rooms that are easy to get fully haunted. But that's okay because again, like any asym, it feels like the killer side when you're going against strong busters is pretty weak. So, and especially the new, and Gary, you'll talk about this. The new Ghost feels very weak.
Yes, there's been changes to the way the core game plays, and they've slowed down Ghost's ability to move and maneuver around. And the new Ghost, the Muncher, really suffers from energy and being slow and sluggish, and the way his abilities kind of work make him kind of, I don't know, he's very underwhelming, which is a shame because design-wise looks awesome. Like, yeah, everything about it's cool. It's just not very satisfying to play, which was a little bit of a letdown. But I love the new map. The facility I think is awesome. I love how much when you attack in that level, there's just explosions, glass smashing. It's just awesome. Like I think they've really knocked it out of the park with the map.
I will agree with you that the Ghost doesn't feel super rewarding to play at the point because I think what he needs is a lot of buffs. I
think he's savable. Like there's salvageable.
I would say design wise, home run. I think it's an awesome and innovative idea to make it so he eats props. He eats the stuff on the map to like recharge his ultimate. The problem is that it takes so long to recharge his ultimate, and then the ultimate ultimately isn't that great. Yeah, it's fine. It's a fine ultimate. It's not like it's wildly more powerful than other Ghost ultimates, right? And then the process of recharging it. I mean, how much time do you really save by eating props?
Not very much. I was wasting time more than anything. I don't like when I'm playing a Ghost. What I think is Slimer does everything better.
Yeah. You have no reason to play that Ghost other than like for novelty or for leveling it up because like your other Ghosts are going to do what he does better. You move very slowly when you're eating props, when you're eating items, and they're not called props. I keep calling them props, but they're items on the map.
Yeah.
I think that if they were to just take and make eating the objects go super quick, or they were able to it can stay slow, but it powers your ult up really fast. Like all that would be fine. And you need some sort of reward for playing a Ghost that is at a disadvantage in most situations, because you are at a disadvantage in most situations playing Muncher. But I think like you said, it's salvageable.
Yes.
But I would like to see them make some changes sooner.
I like the idea of it. I just couldn't enjoy it because as soon as I tried to use the power in that kind of way, I was like, oh, I'm getting dunked on. Because the Ghostbusters, there's 4 of them running around. They catch up with you really quickly. And then you try and do your ult, it gets interrupted. and then you're like, oh no, I've just wasted everything.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. And then again, there's just little issues there. And the thing is that the player base has gotten a huge resurgence because of drops. And so they kind of need this Ghost to be a home run. And they need people to want to stick around. So I think that like if we could get buffs like this week would be
ideal. Yeah,
ideal, because if it takes them too long, people are going to lose interest.
Because I love Ghostbusters, but I was a little disappointed. It was like, I don't know if I want to play this this ghost, but I think I might play against some AI or something to really like get to appreciate its design a bit more.
Yeah. Well, at least the drop skins are ectoplast skins, which is the strongest ghost. So at least like we're getting skins for free for the ghost that you're probably going to be wanting to play most of the time.
Yeah, they are nice cosmetics. I do like them.
Cool,
I hope to get some similar ones for the other ghosts.
Yeah. But they added another tenure level too, so we have more to grind. The drops event goes for another week, I think, all of next week. So there's gonna keep on being hype and momentum. And so again, fingers crossed, Ilphonics got a patch plan for this week to kind of clean some stuff up, because there are some bugs in the game too. Yeah. There's a bug where you can have, when you're playing Ghost, if somebody leaves the game and rejoins, it adds an AI ghost to the game, which can be captured, and you can lose because the AI ghost gets captured while you're just off haunting things.
Yeah.
I will say I got a little frustrated trying to find a match earlier as well. It kept,
really?
I was trying to search just as Ghost. I wanted to play as Ghost, obviously, and it kept putting me as a Ghostbuster, and I was like, I kept getting it.
I think it's that. Okay, so when the
It
game
might have been a
first
bug.
launched,
It might have been a bug.
when the game launched, there was a bug that made it so if you chose Ghost, your first match, you would always play Buster, and then it would rotate you to Ghost. That might be back.
Oh, that could be it. Because I kept getting frustrated and was like, no, I want to play Ghost. I don't care about playing Buster right now.
So I think you need to play out one Buster match, and then it'll rotate you to Ghost.
Okay.
That's what I've experienced. And again, they fixed that bug in the lifespan of the first patch, or the first launch patch, right? Because like when we got to a point where you would just auto go in as Ghost. And I think it's just I think that bug is probably just back.
Oh, it's okay. Okay, that makes me less annoyed by it. I thought like it was just like the game wasn't being nice to me at all. I was like, eventually it worked. I got Ghost. It was fine.
Yeah.
I lost a lot as a new Ghost though. I was struggling.
I played as the third variant. I forgot the name of it. I think it's Heap.
I unlocked it. Yeah.
I believe it's Heap. I played as the third variant. I thought the third variant was pretty fun.
It looks awesome. The third one looks really cool. It's like roots and rocks and stuff.
Yeah, he's gross, and he just like fires out a bunch of like boulders. It's pretty fun. Again, I don't think he's good, but he's fun to play. So, and that's the
most important thing. That's the most important thing.
We're about food here.
Yeah.
So. But I think that's it for Ghostbusters, huh? John, do you want to give your hot takes on the patch? And
great patch. 10 out of 10.
I think I would like to play some Ghostbuster with you, John. It is fun, like to play. I don't think you'd care to play Ghost, but you might enjoy catching Ghost with us.
I mean, I'm down with. I've still got it. No, actually, I think I could reinstall it.
Yeah. Doug, we're making progress.
I would love to play with you guys. Honestly, I think it would be a lot of fun. I mean, I think that maybe your first impression of Ghostbusters was kind of in the worst state the game's ever been when it launched. It didn't launch great, I don't think. And so
that's because we kept getting Ghost when we didn't want it and stuff.
Yeah, I think all the quality of life changes and all the stuff they've been working on over the last year has been like pretty solid. I think that now is like the best the game's ever been. So it'd be a good time to maybe revisit. And then if you revisit it now and you still don't like it, then I don't think it's going to ever be a game for you. But I don't know, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against retrying it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. This is a new thing. I've been open.
Oh, it's just you always don't look too keen on Ghostbusters, so I kind of thought you'd given up on that game, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, we'll check it out.
Speaking of games,
I just got a DM from John Wolf that says I'm not fucking playing it. That's crazy. Wow.
We did check out another game this week, though. At long last, a long-awaited game.
Yes.
We finally played Project Playtime.
The second most popular asym game, possibly.
Yeah.
Project Playtime, which we talked about a few seasons ago when it launched. It launched with quite the fervor from the Poppy Playtime player base. the new free asymmetrical version of Poppy Playtime. And we actually played it today. Yeah, we queued up as a 4-stack. We got some randoms in queue, and Doug played Killer one time, but then we had randos play Killer, and we just played Survivor or whatever. I think it's called Survivor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't seem very sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sounds right to me.
So we actually have some footage to show off of the game if you're watching the video version. So apologies to our audio only listeners, but you're our favorites. Don't tell the video version, guys. Yeah. Project Playtime was an experience. We played 4 or 5 rounds, something like that, together.
Well, I think you and I played 4 or 5 rounds. Gary, whatever number we played, Gary played one less.
Yeah. 1 or 2,
Sorry,
maybe.
I step away.
Yeah, I'm just teasing you, dude. Had to.
Did you happen to step away when you were in the pit?
We'll talk about the pit in a second.
Okay. I see. And so, if you missed our introductory season for Project Playtime, the gameplay loop is very, very simple. One person plays as the monster, and then there are 5 survivors, I think. Isn't it? Is it 5 or is it 6? 6.
I think it's
6.
Is it 6 or? Yeah,
No, it's 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6v1. Yeah.
It's 1v6. And the survivor's job is to go around to different toy machines. Each toy machine has 3 mini games that they have to complete. One of them is just Simon Says. One of them is, I don't know, follow the leader or some shit. I don't know what it's called. You just press the thing that it wants you to press. And another one, you have to memorize a pattern and replicate it. So it's the same 3 mini games on each toy machine, and we have to do 6 different toy machines. When you do all 3 mini games, it gives you a toy that you have to deposit. Once you deposit all 6 toys, the train arrives and you have to escape on it, right? And the monster's job is to just hit all of you and dump you into a pit 3 times to kill you before you can get all that stuff done. So it's very simple. There is a bit of a chase mechanic in the game, although I was not able to do very well at all with it. First of all, you have like a dodge roll that you can do.
It's kind of the Dead Hard thing we were talking about.
Fucking Dead Hard, man.
All the survivors have Dead Hard naturally, and it's got a cooldown, much shorter cooldown than Dead Hard, so you can use it a lot. And then there's little juking spots where you can go in as a survivor, but then the monster has to slow down and duck under a doorway, much like Lady Dimitrescu, and it slows them down. So you can kind of get some looping out of it that way. If you don't do either of those things, chases last about 5 seconds because the monster's just way faster than you, and most of the map is open space. So that I think that kind of covers most of the gameplay.
There's also some doors that you can grab and shut behind you.
That's right there, yeah.
To slow the kind of like dropping a pallet that opens up eventually, so the monster gets slowed down.
It blocks a doorway,
yeah,
which gives you time to get distance and go hide. There's a huge skill cap to that, being able to time your roll and then get the door down. Like, it's not easy to do.
It seemed kind of tricky.
You have to know the maps, I think, because whenever I got into a chase, I was like, where's the door? Oh, I'm dead. So it helps if you know exactly where they are.
And then the other thing is... sorry, okay.
I'm just going to say very unforgiving to a new player.
Yeah.
The chase in the game is.
And then when you are downed by the killer, the monster, when they throw you into the hole, players have to do this little mini game and get rescued by each other. Yeah, they have to do whack-a-mole in a 360 degree around them, whilst waiting for a teammate to come rescue them from the hole. Which is... Well, do you want to start there?
Well, Gary basically did the equivalent of giving up on Hook when he got put in the pit. He hated it so much. I
don't want to talk about the negative things first. I want to talk about the bit I like. I think visually, I mean, I don't know about how you guys feel. It's mainly John, because I know Doug loves the game. But what did you think about the aesthetics of the levels? I thought they looked great.
Well, I mean, the aesthetics are good, yeah. I mean, the people that made Poppy Playtime mob games, they're animators. They have a very successful YouTube channel for animation.
I mean, that's where they come from, isn't it? That's where they kind of started.
Yeah,
right?
they're YouTubers basically that made the games. But yeah, their aesthetic has always been on point. Like, for anyone that's played Poppy Playtime, the aesthetics are bright, colorful, very well done. So it's the same thing with Project Playtime. Like, Huggy Wuggy, the main antagonist of Chapter 1, Poppy Playtime, looks great. in the game. And then there's 2 other monsters, and they all look good. I think there's one of them, Boxy Woxy. I don't know if it has
Boxy, yeah. I think it's Boxy Woxy.
I think that looked incredible.
It's a little Jack in the Box monster, and it's exclusive to Project Playtime, so it doesn't show up in the Poppy Playtime games that I know of. And yeah, they all look great. You know, everything just visually looks really good, and that was totally expected.
Yeah.
They have really neat cosmetics too. There's a cosmetic shop. There's a battle pass. I mean, there's lots of fun customization options in the game for sure.
I really liked the mini games on the gens as well, or not gens, like the puzzle, the toy piece puzzles where you have to do 3 little mini games. I just love it. It's just so much more interesting than like just holding down M1 and hitting skill checks. Like I love the Simon Says is probably the weakest one for me.
Yes,
but I really like remembering the pattern and the quick hit the lights when they light up as quickly as possible. That one's like simple, but it's fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed doing those.
Yeah, the mini games on the objective are definitely more interesting than pressing M1 on a gen in Dead by Daylight, like we were talking about. I did find that I had to concentrate while doing it, and then oftentimes the monster could just come up and attack me while I was in the middle of it, and then it's like if you're not already sprint bursting away when the monster comes up, you have very little time to actually do anything before you get dragged off to the pit. But I did like the games overall. Yeah,
I will say that one thing. I don't know, John. You were mentioned more than one occasion being kind of frustrated by the audio cues being inconsistent.
Yeah,
it's like sometimes you'd be like feeling, and I agree with this. Sometimes you feel like the monster's bearing right down on you, and they're like nowhere close. You can't even see them. And then sometimes you're working on a puzzle, and then all of a sudden I don't know where the guy's just on you. So
yeah,
I think that's one thing that might need to get looked at a little bit more. Is kind of like
a terror radius type thing.
Yeah,
some more consistency with the audio cues. Like either make it like Wesker where it's always loud, or make it like
because the footsteps are ominous, but you're like
I was amazed sometimes. Like I would sit there and I would hear the footsteps and I would see the monster and I'd be like, okay, so when the footsteps are that loud, that's how far away they are. And then I would hear the same volume level footsteps, but it would be like literally attacking me in the middle of attacking me. So I don't. Maybe it's something you have to get used to. I don't know. I just did not have a good time with being able to tell where the monster was from the audio. Because there were other times when I was in a locker and I was like, it sounds like they're right on top of me. And then Cinna would be in the background like, he's on me right now on the other side of the map. And I'd be like, oh, well then why does it sound like he's in my ear right now? And yeah. Kind of a weakness of the game for me, but yeah. Maybe when the game's not early access.
I quite enjoyed the gameplay loop. I see what you mean. Like the audio thing was weird because like sometimes I'd be like I'd stop doing the puzzle because I'd hear the footsteps and then then nothing would come. Yeah, and then someone would go down and be on the other side of the map. Like anyway, back to work. And
it might be by design. It might be like a Wesker type thing where they want you to be worried. They want you to maybe that's a balance thing. They want you to come off the machine instead of just rushing them.
It's true because the puzzles are. As John was saying, like they gain your focus.
Yeah.
Which is probably on purpose.
Yeah, you can't just overall, like on DBD you can be on a gen and you can be looking around while you're on it, watching the game basically. So you're always aware of what's happening unless there's like a stealth killer that pops up right behind you. Right. Yeah, and this one though, like you can't just like zone out with the mini games. You have to be paying attention because you have to unless you're doing the whack-a-mole one. You're having to memorize something actively while you're playing.
Yep. Yeah, I'm glad you guys got a chance to try it out finally. I've been playing it off and on since it launched in early access. One thing that I think is worth mentioning, we've been kind of keeping an eye on the player base, right? And for a while there, it was 2,000-3,000 concurrent, consistently. And they're down to about 1,000 concurrent now. And I don't think it's a coincidence that their last update was on January 9th. And that was a tiny quality of life update. It was not there was no actual content added. Yeah. January 6th, they did host migration and minor changes in bug fix. But other than that, there hasn't been a real patch since December 21st.
Which is a shame because I will say I enjoyed the game more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah.
I will say there is one part of the game that I cannot stand. I really hope they change it and just tear it out in some way or form. when you're in that pit, and I know I could tell you, like Doug, you were getting a bit annoyed with me moaning about it.
I don't ever actually get annoyed with you, Gary. I just tease you.
But like when you're in there, there's like, I don't know, a bunch of pipes where the little poppy creature climbs out. I don't know what it's called.
Huggy Wuggy, Gary.
Huggy
Have you
Wuggy.
done no research?
Bunch of Huggy Wuggies start coming out of the pipes, and you have to like whack-a-mole them away, or else you die. But you can end up doing that forever. Like in one of our matches, I was in the pit, and our random teammate, was hiding in a locker. And if I tried to stay alive in that match, I'd have been doing that game for minutes. And it's after about 20 to 30 seconds, you get a bit fed up.
Yeah. Also bears mentioning that I had a situation today where they just stopped working. The whack-a-mole just stopped. It just stopped, what's the word, registering that I was hitting them, so I just died.
I
just
that's
died.
not good.
I was hitting them, and they were not going away, and then I just died. And I was
because we kind of discussed briefly like the idea of like maybe you should earn something for doing it, just to make it worthwhile, because it's just such a deflating thing to do, and it's really monotonous.
I think I misunderstood how that section worked. So I thought you could earn a revive by hitting enough Huggy Wuggies. Is that not true?
No, you're just keeping them at bay until somebody saves you.
Oh, so somebody has to revive you no matter what.
Somebody has to say, yeah. And if nobody comes, you will be doing that game perpetually until the game ends or until somebody comes. Yeah.
I didn't understand that. Okay. Yeah.
So that's the main part of the game that I don't like. Everything else though, I think there's something there. Like there's less focus on looping, but there is elements of it. I really like the mini games. I think the audio needs improving. I love the visuals and the environments look cool. I think there's something there. I think I could enjoy that game. I just need a few quality of life changes, mostly to that pit. If you could earn your way out by doing that mini game long enough, I would take that. Like just if I knew that if I just sit there and play it for a minute and I can climb out myself, that'd be absolutely perfect. I'll do that because it means I'm only ever going to be doing that mini game for 1 minute at a time. I'm bored of it after 30 seconds, but if I do it twice, I get a free revive without my teammates having to stop doing the puzzles. Like, that's fine by me.
That's a good idea. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that was how I was under the impression it worked, so.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah, I think, I'm not sure if I could see myself playing very much of it, frankly. Especially with no roadmap and with the game in early access and the last update coming almost a month ago. But it is something to keep an eye on, definitely.
Yeah, we'll keep talking about it, and then I'll keep playing it. So if nothing else, you'll have an agent on the inside to keep you guys updated.
You're like a spy for us, Doug.
Yeah,
I think that it has huge monetization potential with it being such a popular IP, and I do think that if this game can find an audience and find some footing and find, like you said, you mentioned a roadmap, but they can find like a release schedule of some sort and really start making big changes and cleaning it up and getting new content out. I could see it being very popular. I could see it paving the way for other major IPs to try out asyms as well. So
yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
I don't know.
I think a lot of these companies don't understand how important a roadmap is, because I mean, it's not like you have to come out with something like crazy for the roadmap. But just the knowledge that you're continuing to working on the game and not abandon it, that's gonna help keep people playing the game.
That's a lot of the fear is that no one's working on it. I'm not
right.
I don't want to actively play something which is already dead.
Right.
Yeah. A great idea. Like, and the thing is, you don't have to reveal too much. All Evil Dead had to do for a roadmap, because we didn't know what was going on with Evil Dead until all of a sudden they tweeted about Ruby, right?
Yeah.
They could have tweeted, they just could have put a roadmap out that said like Q1 2023, we've got a new game mode, a new character, and new cosmetics that are slated. And that's all they have to say. And that just gives people like something. Okay, there is something coming. There's, and they don't have to tell us we're going to add a fucking BR and a specific licensed character. Like they don't have to tell us the specifics, but just something. Yeah. It's always better than nothing.
Yeah, you don't have to treat it like a board meeting or anything with your 40 slide PowerPoint. Just
behaviors roadmaps are great, right? Don't we agree that behaviors roadmaps are perfect?
Yeah.
That's something we can say they dunk on that. That's
once a year they give us a plan for the next year, and with the exception of like cross progression, which gets memes on all the time, like they pretty much follow through on all of it, all the stuff that they bring up. So
The behavior are very good at like keeping to their schedule and stuff as well. Like I just can't fault them for that.
Yeah.
Except for maybe they try and do too much. Because like they do the stuff. Sometimes it's a bit buggy, but like that's fine. Bugs happen.
Yeah, but at least content is coming down the pipeline,
and bugs are fun.
Yeah.
They're hyping us up beforehand, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
well,
I think
thank you
a lot of
guys.
these games could benefit from that. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, thank you guys for playing Project Playtime with me. I had fun.
Yeah.
Oh, do it again. Don't worry.
You guys could tell how excited I was to have friends playing the game, right?
Oh yeah, I think you enjoyed playing it with people. Like, was it a much different experience playing it with people?
Way more fun. Because
like
with you guys,
I do get the impression that game. I don't think it should have comms because comms.
no.
Yuck.
But
yuck.
I have a feeling that playing it with comms makes it a much more enjoyable experience.
It was just fun playing with you guys, and like we weren't sweaty. You guys were brand new, and we were just kind of having fun and like memeing about it. But it was just more fun. I think it's more fun to play with friends for sure. The solo experience Project Playtime might be my least favorite solo queue experience in ASM right now. So yeah, you guys were a lot of fun to play with. So.
I mean, I was getting really frustrated with our randoms and
that one that was in the locker.
And there was only 2 of them per game, right? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm glad I died in the pit. I'm glad I didn't do the mini game. I've been doing it for like 3 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your worst nightmare. That's hell for you, Gary.
Yeah, that's what hell will look like for me. That'll be the circle of hell they put me.
Real.
Play this.
So that takes us to wrapping up on Evil Dead, right?
Evil Dead, yes.
Man.
Our spy, Doug Running Man, has been looking into.
Jesus, you guys. Okay, so I told you I haven't been playing DVD for the last week. That's because I've literally just been playing Ghostbusters and Evil Dead. The update, man, I am torn on this update, right?
Ooh,
because because they added a new game mode. It's called Splatter Royale, and it's literally a Evil Dead BR. Like, it's
that's so good.
So cool.
It's so befitting with their mechanic as well, because obviously the circle comes in.
Yep. It fits. They already had the circle ready. They got the big maps already. They've got the weapons with different rarities already. They've got all the key. They got all the key components to a BR. All they had to do is like implement it, and they added some neat stuff. So there's these things called rifts on the map where like if you spawn a rift, it spawns like a hard enemy, kind of Fortnite-y, right? You have to fight an AI, but if you kill them, you get like a purple or better weapon. Yeah. You get a Shemp's Cola. You get an amulet. You get ammo. So and then they show up on the map as an exclamation point. So people will all like converge on them. So it like encourages more.
So you'll be fighting an elite, and then suddenly 2 other people start shooting. You're like, oh no, no.
Yeah, they could. Trust me, I've ratted a couple guys that way.
So I'm guessing. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm guessing that the battle royale is survivor only. You can't play as a demon or...
Well, no, they're all demons. It's demon characters or possessed versions of survivors. It's a 40-man
It's survivor gameplay, though, right?
It's the survivor gameplay. But your skins are... But
you
play
cosmetics as demons. Okay.
So you can play as Ash, you can play as Annie Nobi, but you'll be like the possessed version of them.
Okay, yeah. But there's no demon gameplay.
No, it's all from the survivor perspective gameplay. And like your drop, you are in like demon mode. You're like, when you play demon and you're in that like camera that's super fast. You start off there and you can go wherever you want. You have like 20.
Oh, that's like the bus part.
So that's how you drop in.
That's so you drop in.
Oh,
you can spawn in around, spawn them out. Yeah, and you get like 25 seconds until it forces drop. So you can try and go to a spot you want to go to. Like you can go to like El Brujo's hut or something like that. A place where there's going to be like loot density.
Can you see other people's location?
That was exactly my question. Yeah,
you can see them when they spawn. So you can't see them as the demon or as the demon mode. But like, I'll go into a house and then a person will spawn. I'll be like, nope, I'm gonna go somewhere else, and so I leave there and go somewhere else. Right?
I love the idea of spawning and then someone else spawns at the exact same time, and it's like, all right, well, let's do this.
Yeah,
well, did you start with nothing?
Crazy.
Do you just start punching or?
You start nothing, just fists.
Okay.
But you can spawn. You'll know the areas that have loot density. It's similar to Fortnite and other games. Like, where you want the hot drops and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
And the good drops. And sometimes, like El Brujo's hut is the one that comes to mind. I've gone into El Brujo's before and had like 2 blue chests, 2 shemps, a nice gun, a nice weapon, nice melee weapon, and I've gone there and had nothing. So it's just like you're kind of rolling the dice on where you spawn at. And because of the nature of how large the map is and how short the time frame is, you really don't have a lot of time to choose where you're going to drop. You just got to get in and go. But it works out really well. It's super fun. So other things worth noting is that there is a class system, which is completely unique to BR. It's not you don't play your characters that you play in BR don't have the survivor builds on them. There's 4 classes. The classes are Butcher, Marksman, Commando, and Assassin. And each one of them is kind of geared differently. A Butcher is kind of like a tanky, high health, damage absorption class, but you lose a lot of range damage. Commando is like an all-arounder, which basically means I think they suck. Marksman is like prioritizes range damage, gun damage, right? Shooting. And then Assassin is more like fast weapon melee damage, light attacks. So you get in there and you hit them with like the syringe or hit them with like a one-handed weapon, like the meat mallet or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's each one of them has 60 levels. I started off when it first dropped. I had a bunch of spear points saved up in case they released a demon. So I got level 60 Butcher like out of the gate. So I was able to just start right away with like a full build. And I'm at this point, I played so much that I have Butcher, Commando, and Marksman all level 60. And I'm like level 40 something on Assassin. I'm almost done leveling them all up already.
Nice.
Because it's very, very addictive. And
So that's a giant W then. That's good.
huge win. Huge
Because
W.
I'll play that this week then. That's
And
getting
really
like
popular.
a firm thumbs up. I mean, that sounds good.
It's
Because I love Fortnite. I still play Fortnite because I love Battle Royale. So
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's popular. It's being played a ton. It's very efficient for farming spirit points because you get spirit points, which are the in-game currency like blood points, right? You earn spirit points for playing the VR, but you can spend those on the asym. So if you want to like level up your characters in asym, you can still spend those spirit points over there.
This might be too early to ask this question, but how is matchmaking? Has it affected the asymmetrical side at all?
We're gonna get into asym talk next.
Am I moving into
that's
that?
gonna be touched on when we talk about the asym. I think.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry.
I have thoughts on that.
But the Battle Royale matchmaking healthy. Like I started off strong.
Day one it was busted. It was like 10-20 minute queues. And a lot of us that were streaming and playing it speculated it was because there was it was too popular, and that proved to be true. I don't know if they needed to expand servers or what, but like queues now are like
I thought it would be funny
max.
if the MMR system was somehow getting in the way. They hadn't turned that off.
Yeah.
So it's just everyone's
Yeah.
really funny.
I won't lie. I had decent queues my first couple of games, but after I won my first game, my next queue was 25 minutes. And I was like, well, I must be the top player in the world now because I won. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now the queues are instant. And I'm getting a lot of I'm seeing a lot of fresh names. Huge problem with the BR right now is people are already teaming. Like almost every game you run into people trying to team. And that's really frustrating.
Oh,
So what do you mean?
Do you mean like find people that they know?
Like there's solos, and then they there's an international sign. If you click your flashlight at another survivor, another player, you're trying to team. You want to team. You want to group up.
Oh.
And they're doing this shit
I see.
constantly. And there are prominent members of the Evil Dead streaming community who are encouraging people to do it. To the point that there's a streamer, I'm not going to name drop because I don't want this person to get any clout.
But you'll tell us after the podcast,
I'll
right?
let you know. There's a person who streams Evil Dead full time who is encouraging their viewers to stream snipe their lobbies and help them win while live on Twitch.
So that's an
while
issue.
live on Twitch.
That's an issue, yeah.
And
That's cringe.
That's the cringe stuff. It's like, go ahead.
Sorry, no. I was just going to say it's very interesting that people are making this hobo code flashlight clicking for alliances. Because I don't see that in any other battle royale.
Yeah, I've
game.
never seen something like that in Fortnite.
I play a lot of Fortnite. I played a fair bit of Blood Hunt when it first launched, and it was like both of those games are shoot on sight games. Even Blood Hunt, which had like a much smaller player base, it's like as soon as you saw someone else, it's like dead. If you saw them, you started firing. So it's very interesting that Evil Dead doesn't quite have that.
Well, there's two things. First of all, there were phases of Fortnite where there was teaming happening a lot, and then they started banning people for it. And the report system, the in-game report system in Fortnite is phenomenal.
It is really
so
good.
people get banned quick. Evil Dead does not have an in-game report system at this time, which is a problem. Number two, and this is something that Alucard, he's a full-time Evil Dead streamer, he mentioned he thinks the reason why, and I'm kind of on board with his theory. He thinks the reason why there's so many teamers is because a lot of the people that are playing the BR are survivor mains, and they're used to playing with friends. And they just, he thinks that if they release a duos and trios and squads mode, that the teaming and solos will go away.
That could probably solve the problem.
Because as he put it, little Timmy and little Johnny are like, are you in the lobby? Because you can see who's in your lobby before the game starts.
Oh, that's an issue.
They'll queue together, see that they're in there, and be like, okay, meet me at dead end, right? Meet me at dead end, and we'll run this shit.
I see.
And we won again, right? So
that's so lame.
So there's no safeguards against that kind of thing right now.
At this point, no. And so that's my only complaint about the BR. And again, like, so Hinky, who's another prominent Evil Dead streamer, put out an incredible tweet where he won a 1v4 against a group of teamers. And he was like, yeah, when teaming goes wrong. So it's like, most of the guys who team are dog shit anyways, and they're not winning. I won. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I win a lot in Evil Dead VR right now. I've been winning games. I've been doing really well. And I've had to deal with teamers a lot. And sometimes it sucks to lose to teamers. It's whatever. Hopefully the Saber will listen and they'll do something about the teaming issue, because it's not just people coordinating it. It's like, like you said, the hobo code, like click on the flashlight. I've had people try to get me to team with them. Yeah. And it's usually a desperation play. And I just kill them. And then I talk a tremendous amount of shit about them. And then I move on.
Oh, what do you protect? You're like, yeah, let's team.
Oh, I've clicked back. And then as soon as they turn, popped them in one shot.
Yeah, good, yeah.
No. So now to the second half.
It's like zombie apocalypse rules.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. We're friends until we're not. In the next phase, though, is the asym, which the vibe in the Evil Dead community was not great prior to this patch. The asym, because before this patch, BR wasn't an option. It was just the asym. The vibes were not great.
What have you discussed? There's like the war between the demons and the survivors, where both sides think the other side is unstoppable.
Well, I don't think that there's that war anymore. I think that most survivor players are agreeing that Demon is in a rough spot right now. And that the game is pretty easy. But I think there's some people that don't want that to change, right? Yeah. Well, so Demon's feeling weaker and weaker, and they've been kind of frozen out of new content. They have only one Demon's been released since launch. One skin's been released since launch, right? So this patch kind of needed to do something to get the Demon players, because again, Survivor queue is getting longer and longer and longer. Less people are willing to play Demon. We got no new Demon, and the buffs that Demon got are not addressing any of the issues that, I mean, there was like some minor nerfs to cars. There was some minor buffs to Demon, and we're back almost exactly the same meta we had before. Except that now the game is broken and survivors are able to duplicate leaders. So they're able to duplicate characters. You can play with more of the same class in the same, or more of the same character in the same game. They're duping leaders now.
Oh, shit. And it's only happening with leaders.
Yeah, is it other classes that can do it, or is it just leaders?
I'm pretty sure the math on leaders is why they're doing leaders, because...
Oh, so they can do other ones, but there's like something with leaders that's...
Yeah. Oh, but it's because of the aura.
Yeah, so
they stack the aura 4 times.
They stack auras over everybody.
Oh, God.
And
okay.
Yeah, so there's...
So do they take like 3 leaders and then 1 damage dealer or something? And
or no, one support Ash who can just melee heal the entire team for the entire game. So
fun.
So your survivor players are sitting in long queues to exploit a game that's already basically free for them to win if they're any good at the game. Now they're also exploiting to make it impossible. We've seen clips of Annie Nobis doing 17,000 damage headshots with a gray weapon.
Okay, that's insane.
Yeah, and like...
Even I know that.
5,600 health on a boss?
I mean, like...
Why are people so lame?
Don't you usually end games, like normal games, with like 50, 60,000 damage or something like that?
Yeah, I saw a Reddit post that had... I think it was an Annie that did 600,000 damage.
Okay, yeah, so that's ridiculous.
A Ruby that did 800,000 damage.
Mm-hmm.
So even without the exploits, Ruby is super overpowered. She's super strong, and demons didn't really get buffed. And so what all this has done is made it so demon players are playing the BR instead, or playing a different game. So survivor queues are like eternal right now, because people are probably playing the BR, or you know.
They've got options. They haven't got to put up with survivor bullshit. Like, why would you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bizarre to me. Although, asym player bases, they can't help themselves, can they?
It's already free. Why not make it freer?
Yeah. Why not see if we can kill this game that we love?
So hopefully Saber will be on. Yeah, I mean, between the streamers encouraging people to exploit, and people in game exploiting and cheating, like, do you want the game to die? Do you want? It's like all those people that did the same shit with last year. They played all the broken shit, and the killer players scared off all the survivor players, and then complained that the game died and blamed the devs.
Right.
You know, these are the same kind of people. They're duping leaders. They're doing 800,000 damage a game. They're gonna blame the devs when the game dies. They're not gonna blame themselves, right?
No, they didn't do anything wrong.
Well, fortunately, I don't think the game will die because the
VR is gonna keep it alive.
It's made a battle royale. It's got crossplay.
The battle royale is honestly huge.
Yeah. And I think they'll probably fix the problems pretty quick. I don't know. I have faith.
I hope so. I do too. Saber. I think the Saber. Well, I know from personal experience that they're getting more. They're more open to communicating with their content creators and influencers, and like they're being very proactive on their Discord with game suggestions and making changes based off of game suggestions. They're listening and they're trying, and I hope they fix the BR issue like overnight. Literally, the problem was fixed overnight, and so that's huge props to Saber to go from 5 to 10 to 20-minute queues to instant queues overnight, right? So that gives me some faith and some hope that they're listening. Because my only concern is that maybe we could be getting into a Fortnite situation where they're going to see this BR blowing up and the BR being very popular and getting a lot of views on Twitch and bringing a lot of people into the game, and maybe shift focus to the BR and start kind of just neglecting the asym. I mean, that's kind of what happened with Fortnite, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. Battle Royale is so much more of a mainstream game mode than asymmetrical is. I'm not sure. It's kind of it's gonna be hard to say until we see more from it, but it is a good business move by them. I do share the same worry about maybe the asymmetrical side is gonna kind of be de-emphasized. It could turn into another Fortnite situation, yeah. Although, frankly, Fortnite's a better game now than it was when it was just save the world or whatever.
True.
That's my hot take.
I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about innovation. Like, this is a horror BR that's a major license. Like,
it also makes sense because I wonder if the reason we don't get new demons is because demons are somehow like a lot of work to make. Well, they just are. They're going to be more complicated. So this will simplify adding characters, and they can just add cosmetics, and they can just add characters. It doesn't matter as much, and they'll probably make more money doing it.
Yeah, imagine them adding Bale from Ash vs. Evil Dead, like having to create a whole ass demon to play the asym as Bale, or just put his character model in the game and you play him in the BR.
Yeah. Because like, come on, Fortnite makes so much money just because like it goes, you can play as Goku now.
Yeah,
and everyone goes, here's money. I bought.
If I was in charge, if I was working at Saber and they asked me what I thought we should do, I would push towards making the BR free to play. And bringing players into the BR to buy skins and to buy cosmetics and to buy yada yada, and then make your asym game be a standalone. You can still make it paid, but it would just be a standalone project.
So I guess like you would load to you could download the game, you load to the menu, and it's like Battle Royale mode or whatever. But then like the regular is locked. Yeah, it's grayed out or whatever.
It just kills the asym. It's kind of sad because I do like Evil Dead, but that does kill it. Unless you can somehow tie a reason to play both.
But like, if a battle royale is a good way to bring in new players that could eventually become interested enough. Once, like Doug said, once they start buying cosmetics and they start really getting attached to the characters that they're playing as, they might be like, let's check out this asym mode actually. So it could translate over. I mean, frankly, I'm just speaking for me. I'm more interested in launching up the game and checking out BR now than
me too.
Than I would.
It's really just upsetting.
Be like, let's see what's going on in the regular mode. It's just I'm more motivated now to check it out. I'm curious.
Yeah. Like I generally good for the game, good business model. I just worry. I want new demons, but I worry that maybe we won't see any. Surely there'll be at least one more demon.
Surely at least one more.
I know Sinnoh's kind of passed along to me that there's been some data mine stuff that implies that we have multiple demons that are in the works. So.
Okay then. Okay, no, I won't worry then.
Yeah, I
They
don't.
just-
I mean, how long has Evil Dead been out? Like
It'll be
8
a year in
months?
October, I think.
Let's say.
Oh.
It's been
Is it
In
a year in October?
Oh,
Was it
I thought
October that it released? Or am I thinking
I
of
thought-
Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters came out in October.
yeah,
Evil Dead's been out since like summer at least, I think.
it's got to be nearing a year.
Yeah. I think so. Well, several months, almost a year. Yeah, I can't imagine that they would abandon it, even
I
if
don't
the
think they
BR
would
does
abandon
take
it.
off. Because it's been holding the game up for however long.
I don't think they would abandon it. No, I just think
It
that
came out in May.
Oh, came out in May. Okay.
you know what that could mean though. That could mean here in a few months we might see Evil Dead coming on over to Steam. Once that 1 year of exclusivity is up, right? Isn't that
That's
typically
true.
the standard?
That's
Yeah.
true.
That would be big for them too,
Yeah.
for the PC player base, because I mean, none of us are like this. We all have Epic Games and we're on there, but some people are just no way. I'm never
Yep.
downloading Epic Games,
Yep.
and this would get them for sure.
Even
You
for
have no
Ghostbusters, they won't download it.
I know, and both
Even
I've
for
been streaming.
Ghostbusters.
I've been streaming Ghostbusters and Evil Dead, and I every stream there's somebody that's like, I'd love to try this, but I refuse to download Epic Games. When is it coming to Steam?
Right.
I don't know
And
why
that
you'd
makes-
refuse to download it. It doesn't matter.
There's a section of Steam diehards that say all sorts of things about Epic Games, that it's Chinese spyware, that it's a horrible piece of software, and all this stuff. I don't know. I think it's all kind of tinfoil hat shit, personally, but whatever.
Yeah, I think all the platforms suck ass, but I want to play the game, so I just do it.
Yeah. It's not like Steam is
Like a charity
blameless.
organization?
Yeah.
They care about us. They care about us.
Funding initiatives to clean up the environment and solve starvation, or no, they're just another
There's
evil
no-
corporation too, just a different one.
There's no ethical consumption. Sorry. No such
No.
thing. But yeah, whatever.
And I'm not playing Ghostbusters, so I gotta have Epic Games. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting to think that it might be coming to Steam in a few months.
I'd expect it, especially if this BR takes off and keeps on being a focal point, like.
Mm-hmm.
Man, dropping that thing on Steam and getting a bunch of new players. Oh, by the way, this is worth noting is that February 6th, Monday, February 6th, Evil Dead is going to be on PlayStation Plus for 1 month,
Ooh.
completely free.
Oh,
Free
nice.
to download.
Oh, perfect.
Free to download
That'll
it
bring
now,
new players in.
So
That's pretty
you
cool.
guys, if you're a PlayStation player and you're listening, or you're watching, you got time to go grab the game for absolutely free, and you can play the new BR, you can play the asym, you can play whatever you want. It's awesome.
Cool. Hey, that's a good motivator.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's hard for me to rate the patch, because I think that the asym half was awful. It was not awful. It just was really underwhelming for how long we waited.
Right.
We didn't get a new demon. We didn't get real balance changes. Like, the balance changes were so minor, they remind me of behavior changes. Like, they're just like, oh, we don't want to do too much. Like, they really were afraid to overdo it for some reason. And then coinciding with that update to the asym is a brand new game mode that's fast, that's fun, that's exciting. Yeah, it's just
It's innovative as well.
It's very innovative, and then so it just really de-incentivizes people to play the asym mode right now. People that are diehard asym players have already pretty much unlocked everything, right?
Yeah.
What do you like? There's a new leader, and finding survivor players was never their issue. They need demons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And demons are not excited about this patch, you know?
It's a shame to hear that the asymmetrical side's kind of taken a hit, but
Every demon main that I know on Twitch is streaming the Battle Royale. Every demon main that I know outside of Twitch is playing the Battle Royale.
there is some very angry Swifts out there that are trying to cheese the leader thing. They're like, can't find a lobby.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I don't play the game, so I'm not really attuned to the meta. But yeah, if that's the case, hopefully when they do buff Demon in, the Battle Royale will be a good way to keep those players around until then.
Yeah.
Because
That's
I
true,
imagine
that is
it
true.
is nice to be like, you know what? I'm so tired of getting wiped out by 4-stack SWAT teams. Let's just chill out in BR for a little bit. But you're still playing the game. You're still earning points, right? You're still earning points. Yeah,
Yeah, you are. Yeah. And
Yeah.
if anything, it's like more efficient because how fast the game mode is and how fast the queues are.
That's good.
You weren't. I mean,
If all the points feed into the asymmetrical side and that side's kind of like kept as a focus, I'm excited. It would upset me to see the asymmetrical side die because I really like playing the demon role.
Same.
Just
I played one round before.
A new demon for me to play that I can enjoy. It'd be great.
I played one round before the podcast started, Gary, and you watched me play it, right?
Mhm.
How did you like how long my boss stayed alive during the book? With the leader bug.
You got annihilated. I've never seen a boss die that quickly. Poor Henrietta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I did not realize you could do so much damage hitting people with cars.
2 leaders on the team did 80,000 plus damage.
Yeah.
Each.
Yeah.
So they had a Scotty as well. It was just I never stood a chance. The poor boy never had a chance.
Yeah.
And now imagine if I'm not playing this for my job and I'm just like doing it when I have some free time. Like, why am I
just
doing
a
that?
regular Sunday afternoon after church.
Yeah.
You know, set the kids down for an afternoon nap. Go to play your favorite asym and just get dunked on.
Yeah.
What about my phone?
What about my food?
It's crazy. It's crazy to think, you know, speaking of food, it's crazy to think of how the actual state of playing Demon in Evil Dead is how killer mains like to pretend DBD is.
Oh, God.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that interesting?
Dead Hard's OP. Oh, I'm not going back to it.
DBD's impossible. No, Evil Dead's actually fucking impossible because you can't play.
Right.
So, anyways. I still love the game. I'll still play the game. There's another bug. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but there's a demon bug right now. That makes
we have to go
demons.
find it like an Easter egg.
I'll tell you guys after the podcast because I trust you guys. But somebody out there right now is hate watching this podcast and they're going to go play it, right? But there's a bug on one of the demons that's like insane.
Okay.
So you can, and so again, I've heard some vigilantes are out there attacking bugs with bugs and saying, "Oh, you want a leader dupe? Well, I'll go ahead and do this bug and make it also impossible for you."
Everyone's having miserable times. Great.
Exactly. Yeah. Fight misery with misery, but yeah, there's another demon bug too that needs to get fixed, but hopefully not before they fix the leader duping. Anyways, that's Evil Dead.
Evil Dead.
We'll check back in a week and see what Saber does.
Fingers crossed they fix that quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. We discussed all things DVD. We talked about Ghostbusters, Project Playtime, Evil Dead.
VHS. We spoke about VHS.
We covered VHS.
Everything
Do we
VHS.
want to have the weekly segment where we all pine for Texas Chainsaw and Killer Clowns?
I did it a little bit at the start, but
It's gonna be so good.
I do want Texas Chainsaw. We actually had some questions in the Discord server, which we could talk through a little bit. One of them kind of alludes to Texas Chainsaw, so I'll start with that one. It's not on the topic of Texas Chainsaw; it's more general than that. But it was by B Black Phoenix. They asked, "Do you think the horror element of horror asyms is getting lost?" And with Texas Chainsaw, I'd be like, "That's the one that's going to like really bring it back." What do you guys think about? Do you think horror asyms feel a little less? I mean, I suppose it depends what you mean by horror.
Yeah, it depends on if you're a horror gatekeeper or not, I guess.
I think making a horror multiplayer game is just really difficult. I mean, for me, I've never been scared by a horror multiplayer game. Not Dead by Daylight, not even in the beta when it was brand new and it was the hide and seek game. Not Friday the 13th. I love all these games, but they have never scared me.
What about like Phasmo or
Phasmo's scared me, yeah, and I think that's because it's an AI threat.
Yeah, okay. I'm just curious if it was a multiplayer, like a competitive multiplayer thing, or if it was like any horror multiplayer game. Because
I think it's been difficult to get horror vibes out of co-op games, but Phasmo is definitely an exception.
Gotcha. Okay.
I would to go back to the asym thing. I would disagree a little bit. I think asym games can be a little scary at times. DVD, I think, has been a really good example of it with stealth killers. I think a Michael Myers coming out from nowhere can get you. Pig, back in the day, could sometimes grab you. Ghostface can be quite terrifying. A well used tinkerers can catch you by surprise. Like the game Blight's running out of nowhere still shit me up sometimes. Like it still has its moments. I see where you're coming. Like it's not terrifying, but there is scary moments, I feel.
Well, yeah, you can get jump scared. Yeah, definitely. But I guess in terms of like the atmosphere,
it doesn't have a building tension.
I'd argue.
I never have that like feeling of desperation. It's always more of a competitive vibe when I'm playing like Survivor in these games. It's like I'm going to try to get my task done so I can escape. I'm not like worried, for example, about anything.
Yeah, and I would argue that it's probably just because of like exposure to it, right? You're playing it over and over again. It's like, what is the playtime on Dead Space, right? It's a scary game. What is the playtime on a single player horror experience? It's different. You're not if you played the same game, what's the scariest game you've ever played, Gary? Like single player game.
Outlast is pretty good.
Yeah. And if you played that game like every single day, like 6 hours a day, wouldn't at some point it would start to just kind of dull the fear, dull the horror elements a little bit? Yeah. Similarly with a horror movie, you watch a scary movie, it's probably scary on that first watch. Paranormal Activity, the first time you ever watched it was probably pretty scary, but if you watch Paranormal Activity every day for a month, by the end of it, you're just like,
true.
Everything's memorized. Everything's familiar. Yeah. And that's kind of the thing with an asym is that they're by nature repetitive, so you're going to just get familiar with most things.
To John's point, though, I think part of maybe what they were trying to ask in the question is like, because obviously Dead by Daylight has become more competitive, and there is a lot more UI information now. So the horror element for me has gone down a little bit because if a Wraith's in a chase, I know he's in a chase. He's not going to sneak up on me. When he drops that chase, I know to be on high alert in that moment. I know more. I have too much information now for me to be that afraid. Ghostface, Myers, they don't have as they can still do it, but it's less now. So I do think it is. I think the horror element in Dead by Daylight at least has been lost a little bit. That's why I'm very excited for Texas Chainsaw, because I think that's going to bring it back. I think Texas Chainsaw, especially with like Sissy, I'm still very excited about Sissy hiding in cupboards and stuff. I think that's going to shit players up. I genuinely do. I think that's going to be quite a haunting experience.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that though. Like, if the horror element of DBD, like, you're not very scared as a survivor when you know what all tiles are safe and what windows are safe and what where your teammates are.
When you spot a safe pallet, you're like, okay, if the killer comes near me, if I hit the tail radius, I'm going for that pallet. I'm safe. Yeah, you've kind of like the whole element of the initial idea of DBD was like 4 survivors cut off from communication. Like they didn't even used to have survivor friends initially. Yeah, right? Solo queue, suffering. So, if the killer was super overpowered and could kill you instantly, like you'd be a lot more worried about getting caught. So yeah, I guess that I would agree with that. That like the horror element, everything feels so routine and mundane now when you play DBD. Like it's like Noed's rare now. Noed's a scary perk. Yeah, it's unique when something scares you in DBD, or when you truly get surprised in DBD. Yeah. Another one of our questions was about. We kind of covered it already. It was from King Fancy asking what killer power we'd like to see, but I think we kind of covered it with the Lady Dimitrescu conversation. Because that's the power I want to see now. I want to see a killer
duck under
a doorway and then do something.
Duck into Killer Shack and then get a little haste to hit people at the window. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And one other question we got was from Bedonkwe. Do you all think they should add the legendary skins as full-fledged survivors, just minus the unique perks, or some kind of version of that? So, like, Carlos would be his own character, for example, and Chris.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of my thought too.
Well, because I mean, every character in Dead by Daylight has their own unique perks, so they just have to. We already have enough perks. I mean, and already for survivors, especially, the cosmetics are just a skin, ultimately. Once you have all the perks unlocked, you don't have powers, so they're all just skins. So, and then we've got this new grind with prestige. I don't really want more characters.
Yeah, it's more blood points have to spend. That would be my issue with it. It's like, I don't want to have to level up more characters to get them all the perks or whatever. I don't want to do that.
It doesn't make a difference to me if I play Carlos as Carlos or Carlos as Leon or Leon as Carlos. Yeah. Like for me, I mean, he's going to look the same and he's going to have the same perks, right? He's going to have the same playability.
And it's nice.
So.
You don't have to unlock any items. You have all your med kits and toolboxes are still there. Your offerings are still there. If you have bloody party streamers saved up, you can use those. Like, do you really want to have to dump points into another survivor to get add-ons and items? Items and item add-ons.
No.
I am emphatically voting no on that as well.
If what they're wanting is like for the portrait, if they're a Carlos main, just to keep using him as an example, and it takes them out of it to be like to see the portrait of like, oh, it's Leon actually. You can change that.
That would be cool, wouldn't it? Actually, it would be cool if if they put that into the game itself. So into
the game itself, yeah.
If I leave it, the last time I click as Carlos or Leon and I leave it as playing as Carlos,
that'd be awesome.
It changed the icon. That would be cool. Actually, that would be an interesting.
Whichever one you had selected, that was the icon it showed. That would be great. That's maybe if you're listening. Cool. That's a great.
So it could be Cheryl, Lisa, Sybil.
Literally, all they have to do is just make a couple JPEGs.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. So if Behavior's listening, we would love that for our one James main that's out there listening.
Or
right
one
now. He would love to have James as the profile. Except for James, he'd be the only one that just had a blank profile picture.
I mean, it would be another selling point for legendary skins as well. So if you like Noir Leon, for example, it'd be kind of cool if that would be the picture if you left it on that cosmetic.
Yeah, a legendary profile pic. We could even help monetize Behavior. You guys could do legendary ones for all the survivors. You could do legendary Dwights. You could do legendary Megs. Ones they can collect. Maybe that could be a P100.
I tell you what, you can stick all that in the battle passes. Boom, more stuff to like.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. That's just more stuff in the battle pass.
There needs to be a reward for P100. I understand why they didn't have one out of the gate, and they were just like, people just go get it, but come on. Especially if people are going to get multiple P100s now, there needs to be some sort of reward. And if it's not a legacy skin, which I think would make the most sense, then like a legendary skin like you guys are talking about, some sort of exclusive thing for P100 would be great. It just has to be one thing, but something other than just bragging rights.
I love that idea. Even if it was just like a little icon picture.
Yeah.
New border.
Yeah. You know what? For all the money and time that they spend making all these new charms and stuff, could just give us portrait borders or something else like that. That would be so cool. I would love that. I don't need any more charms. No more charms, please.
Or except like
Behavior.
You can make new ones, but make the good ones. Like all the brown ones, cut them out. Yellow ones, cut them out as well.
Yeah.
Green ones, actually you can kind of cut them out as well. Like just keep the really nice ones.
Cut them all out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate my eyes glaze over every time I go to the charm screen. And I'm like, there's how many pages? 27 or whatever.
Yeah,
so
27 pages of like 20
there's
charms.
9 good charms in the whole game, right?
Yeah,
like 12 maybe. Maybe they'll make some sort of like team fight tactics style like DVD mini game where you use your charms as characters or something, so you have a reason to have all those charms.
Yeah,
like, you're never going to use them in game, right?
Or the weird little poker chip ones that don't do it. Yeah.
They'll make some like puzzle game where we can like use our charms to play like some sort of stupid like. Give us something, because no one's ever using their yellow charms ever.
No.
You're more likely to use the brown ones because it's funny.
No.
I pretty much only go in with like my Pupper's charm if I'm gonna do anything, or like I don't know, every now and then, like the flashlight one is kind of cool on Killer. But with rare exceptions like that, I just
there's a good pride. There's good pride charms. The pride, the crows of pride. The pride bird's my favorite too. Yeah, the crows of crows of Pride, or I can't remember the actual name of the charm, but that's my favorite one of those. That's a good one. There's notable exceptions.
Yeah. But you could just make them legendary ones. They should be.
Yeah.
But like all these ones that are like the brown charms with like 2 leaves on it, I'm like, okay, who's using this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than as a joke, because it's quirky.
Like some of them are cool. Like I see like the Wesker vials, the Resident Evil ones.
Yeah, those are cool.
Pinhead's box and stuff like that. They're cool.
I played against Nerfs one time who was using a Starstruck charm, and I was like, I bet this guy's a real nice guy in real life.
I feel like that is a weird thing where like the worst killers will be like, I use perk charms. I don't know why. Yes. You see a hook with perk charms.
It's just another attempt to antagonize, to be like, I like Starstruck on Nerfs so much that I use the charm.
Yeah, it's like
It's too bad Noed's a generic perk, because I would bring a Noed charm every single game. Be like, it's coming, look. And then the servers would be like, he's got Noed, look. And then
that'd be so good.
The charm plus the Noed eyes would be great.
Oh, the frosty eyes, yeah.
And then you just don't have it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh.
But yeah, those are just some questions from the Discord server, and I just wanted to say, like, keep them coming. Keep questions coming. They're interesting.
Keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
Keep them
We
coming.
love the Discord.
And if you're not in the Discord, we have over 300 members now and rising. Feel free. There's an invite in the description wherever you're listening or watching.
It's always popping off in there. It's great.
Popping up.
Yeah,
I saw a 4-stack swiffing earlier today.
Yeah, today. I keep seeing people like using playing games with each other.
Yeah. That's really cool.
The community grows.
We're at nearly 400 members. I just did the math, quick math.
Nice.
We're in like the 370 range, and I would say that it's probably the most active daily Discord I have at this point. So people are constantly in there being
it's great.
interacting. So now's the time. Jump in, join the community.
We've got. I mean, there's always some activity in one of the text channels. So like, if you're a big Ghostbusters fan or Home Sweet Home Survive, even Identity V, and you want people to play with, I promise you'll find somebody. At least somebody to duo with in the server. There's fans of all the games.
We need to play Identity V, don't we? Isn't that something we've talked about? Like
I played that. I did it. I did my time.
It has been suggested recently.
I'll do it again. I'll
revisit
do it again.
Well, maybe. Do I have to download BlueStacks for that, or can I just play it on my phone?
I think it's download BlueStacks.
It's got a standalone app. Identity
Does it have an app
for
now?
desktop. I'm pretty sure. I
think I played it. I think I played it on BlueStacks.
I know when I played it on my PC before, I had to use BlueStacks. This is a long time ago, though. I could have changed this.
I think they have a desktop app now. If I'm not.
Oh, damn.
I might be wrong on that. I thought that's what I did last time.
Yeah, we could play that again. We can play it next week if you want.
Might need to.
That and a bit of Ghostbusters.
We've got so many things to do. Yeah, they've got I think they've got a Windows app.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm just googling it.
It makes sense for them to have something like that.
Yeah, definitely. You know what we should do? We should try DVD mobile on BlueStacks at some point.
Yeah. I like the stuff they tweet out. DVD mobile looks like the place to be. Holy shit.
Yeah,
they're
I'm
on
super
fire.
down to do that. I'm super down to play that. That sounds fun.
That would be kind of a cool way to play DVD in a new way. And you get to see everybody's perks in the lobby beforehand too, right?
Yeah, which I assume DVD main will do that soon too.
Don't they also have disconnect bots? Like when someone DCs, a bot replaces them?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Crazy.
It's so far ahead. It's like maybe DVD is the testing ground.
Yeah.
Maybe the mobile is the testing ground for all this stuff.
The main DVD is the PTB for DVD mobile. They just test them out.
Exactly.
DVD mobile.
Okay, well, we've got our homework. And your homework is to rate us 5 stars on Spotify.
Hey!
We need more. We must have more. But I think that's going to draw this season to a close. Best season yet.
Another good one.
Absolutely.
I know.
Really good.
We keep topping ourselves each week.
Really good. Yeah. Really, yeah.
It's just hard being this good at this, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's effortless, right?
Really
is. We are pretty good at this, aren't we? We're pretty talented.
Well, that's why we're the #1 asymmetrical horror and DVD podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching, especially our fans in Romania. We'll never forget you.
#1.
You guys were first.
I'm one of your co-hosts, John Wolf, here with one of my other co-hosts, Gary the Hot Cross. Thank you for joining us. And our 19-time recurring guest, Doug Running Man. Thank you so much for joining us. Can we get a round of
applause for Doug?
Thanks, I deserve that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well earned.
It's been fun. Hopefully I can come back next week. So I have more exciting things to talk about, the games you don't play.
Well, we'll see you next week for season 19. Bye!
Bye, everybody! Bye!
Bye.